And we are live, everybody. Today is Monday, March 15th, Monday night, Forrest Fenn Treasure Found. We don't have time for theme song music tonight because there's so much breaking news tonight. You're not going to believe it. Thank you to the panel that's here tonight. We do appreciate it. Thank you to K-Pro, Forrest Fenn Treasure Found. It's going to be an interesting one tonight. Just make some coffee, get some popcorn, get whatever your drink is. We're probably going to be here for 2 to 16 hours. We're not sure how long. There's a lot to go over. There's a lot of breaking news. At least for this channel, it's breaking news. And K-Pro even has some breaking news. I might even have some breaking news. You just never know. And I picked this little background for a reason right here. Because K-Pro, if we do this show tonight, we cross this bridge, there's no going back. You know that, don't you? So I'm just putting it out there. Spoiler alert, everybody. Once we cross this bridge tonight, there is no going back. Go ahead. Take it away, K-Pro.
Okay, so I'm going to give kind of full credit to actually 2 people. So this is my shout out to Cynthia. Cynthia's been kind of brave lately, and not lately, she always is, but she's been putting some new stuff out there. And a lot of people have asked me some questions about why I questioned some things, what happened, etc. And Cynthia goes, you can't just talk to it. You actually have to show the emails. So tonight, never before, I'm going to be showing some emails between Forrest and I. And I want to say a special thank you to Tom Walker because he bought some alcoholic beverages for Cynthia and I today, and it made some more secrets pour and pouring drinks, pouring secrets. See what it did there. So I wanted to say thank you to Tom and Karita. You guys are awesome. We did our Margarita Mondays, and some additional things came out, and it looks like. So here's what's going to go on. We have a panel. You guys know these guys because they've been on before, but we'll go around the room and introduce everybody. And Greg knocked it out of the park. He went to Santa Fe. I'm going to apologize. I'm going to say, I thought I'd see him on the news. No, he went into professional mode and he rocked it for this community. And he brought back some breaking news, no arrest. I actually have had it confirmed. He was endearing. He was all good things. I'll go into that later because I want him to say it. And, you know, I think he has a week to come. But here he is. Okay, so no Stinger tonight. He's all about, you know.
Stinger's retired for a while.
Nice. Okay, who are you? Name your channel for the 100, 200 people in the room.
I'm Greg. I run a channel called Treasure Seekers, The Brutal Truth. So we get the facts instead of going off of he said or she said. We just go right for the facts, and that's what we're doing. That's what we plan to do this whole year. Keep going down to Santa Fe, keep going down rabbit holes, keep interviewing people, keep talking to people, go up to Yellowstone, go to hotels, show, Jack Stoof's picture around, find out where, if he stayed at a hotel because he claims he gave a big tip. Let's find out where that hotel is. It's just PI work. That's it. So thank you for having me on the channel, and thank you for everybody that's in the chat.
Okay, and then Fendi, who are you? You have not 1, but 2 channels. So who are you, my friend?
Hey, that's right. Hey, I'm Fendi Jones, and I guess I started this Forrest Fenn search in like 2015, and I didn't really talk to anybody until it was found. And after it was found, I came out and started hanging out with Greg and the Treasure Seekers, and then I do another show with Bear, and it's called Bear and Fendi Look for Stuff. And actually, we go through the books that Fenn put out there and the scrapbooks, and we do a lot of, I guess, just boggling of ideas around, and we're trying to create a community solve so we can try to solve this thing before Jack comes out and spills the beans, or whoever comes out and spills the beans. I guess we're sitting on the edge of our chairs tonight.
Well, and I will say, I think the people that are going the most pure content, kind of like Jack may not exist, is Fendi and Bear. The person in between is Cynthia. She's doing this series of videos on things that she knows, but she's incorporating Jack's comments to see if we can figure out more there. And I think Greg is a little bit more like, what can we find out that's outside of all of that? And that's kind of where my world is kind of since June 6th on. So we kind of have 3 different niches, and then I think they'll all come together at the end. So Adam, who are you? Mr. Voice of Reason. I just like to hear Adam's voice. Go ahead, Adam.
Tonight sounds like a good show. I'm excited for tonight. I'm looking forward to it.
Where's the pinky?
All over. Hi, I'm Adam. I'm over in the UK. I've been following the hunt now for probably about 5 years. I think I'm as interested in what's happening now, the end game, as I was the hunt. You know what I mean? Because it's fascinating what's happening and how it's all going to end up. And yeah, I'm looking forward to tonight. Bring it on.
Okay, so let's start at the beginning. And oh, of course, Mike, who are you? What, I want everyone to know Mike had his own channel once upon a time. A lot of you ladies still email and make comments about how you liked his channel better before me. Sorry.
You stuck him in the corner and you forgot about him. Nobody puts baby in the corner. Nobody.
Hey, I have 10,000 comic books here that says otherwise. Who is as happy as me? Okay, but Mike, go ahead. Who are you?
I'm Mike. I'm Cowlazars. You guys know we've been involved in the Forrest Fenn Treasure Hunt for quite a while now, me and K-Pro. And sure, I did it before K-Pro, and now I'm doing it after K-Pro. So, yeah, we do have some breaking news tonight, so I'll be playing the sound a lot. So if it annoys you, you might as well just deal with it. And yeah, so we do go live Mondays, Thursdays. Make sure you subscribe. I'll do the normal thing of super chats on. If there's a question, you have to have one of these fine gentlemen and lady answer. And then, yeah, Mondays and Thursdays, subscribe.
Okay, so thumbs up because everybody loves Mike, and for the panels and for breaking news. I'll just say it's breaking news to me. I saw some of you disappointed and there weren't enough exclamation points. I put Mike in charge of the title due to Titlegate 1.0. I think this might be 2.0. And Mike, I don't know if you know it. I did not hear the breaking news button when you said I'm going to be playing things like this. Do you guys hear anything? Oh, there.
Yeah,
okay.
there it is, everybody. A little
Okay.
loud. Yeah, sorry. That's the way
Yeah.
everybody up. Oh, and the other one.
Yeah, Copper Dan said before K-Pro and after K-Pro is there breaking news? That is not the breaking news. There is no after K-Pro. That's called the afterlife, my friend. We love, honor, obey each other. Okay, so let's get to the really big breaking news that I think, and we got to give credit to Greg. I don't know where leads, information, things started, but I know who was sitting in a particular office that looked pretty darn familiar. So Mike, why don't you set up the pictures? Greg, why don't you tell us where, so you went to Santa Fe and then you worked your way in magic into an office that we've all seen before. So
Well,
tell us a little bit about it.
Well, it took me 3 times. So the first place I went to, I was taking pictures because I was just taking pictures of the window because of the sunlight that was on that wall. So I wanted to see how the windows looked outside the building. So I started taking pictures, and then somebody called me and said, "Dude, you're at the wrong building. What are you doing?" I said, "I'm taking pictures of the right building." He said, "No, here's the address." So he gave me the address. I said, "No, that's not the address." He goes, "Yes, it is." I said, "Okay." So I started heading to the address. And as everybody knows, it was Carl and everything. And so he was upstairs, but this was a Sunday. I started walking. The doors were locked. There was nobody in there to get in there, but it was Sunday anyway. So I waited till Monday, but I had to stop at the courthouse to pick up some documents and stuff like that on the Miller case. So I did that. And then I went to the office. Nobody was in there. And then the sign said COVID, that nobody would be in there at the bottom to let you in. So I called Carl. He knew I was coming, supposedly. He knew I was coming.
Okay, so I was clear with Greg. I was the one that may have told some people that he was coming to Santa Fe, saying that I think that he's going to be positive. He's talking about being positive. And so I did let a few people know by chance.
Oh, no, baby.
And it all worked out well.
Yeah, it all worked out. Everything worked out good for everybody in the whole community. It worked out great. So I called up there, talked to the secretary and said, I'm here. I want to talk about Forrest Fenn and the treasure chest and all that. And she put me through to Carl. Carl got on the phone. He talked to me. He's like, "You could come upstairs and everything, but the chest wasn't here and everything." I says, "Okay." He says, "But I could come downstairs and talk to you." So we talked for probably about a good hour or two, and he says, "I'll get a hold of the person and everything, and I'll let you know." So it was about that day, he said he's usually pretty good about getting back to him. He contacted me, probably it was about 4 o'clock, I think, Monday, something like that, right before they were closing and stuff. And he said that it's weird that he didn't get a hold of him. So then on Tuesday, I stayed another night just by chance. If I wouldn't have, I would have already been on the road heading to North Carolina. So then he called and everything, and I was in the mountains anyways, so it's kind of hard to get a signal. So he called and he said that, start heading back. And I was like, okay. And then when I was about 15 minutes, I would say about 15, 20 minutes away from Santa Fe, he called and said, okay, I got you set up and everything. I'll text you here in the next half an hour, 45 minutes where to meet. So he texted me the address. I met him there and everything, even though I couldn't find that building either. So I think I suck a little bit at finding buildings or I'd need to put my glasses on. So we walked, we
GPS.
shook hands. We walked in there, went in front of the secretary. All I remember him saying, I felt like it was a dream. I really did. I felt like it was weird. Like I'm really getting this opportunity to go sit in there. And so, he was real nice and everything, talked to the secretary, and he was like, well, I'm here for that thing, which made it kind of weird. Like, why would you say that? I mean, like, I'm here for that thing. Do you remember that thing? And then we walked in the office, the lights were off, took pictures when the lights were off. Capro's got those pictures. I don't think I showed too much of them yesterday and everything. So, and then we turned the lights on. One light wouldn't work, so we tried to get it to work, but we couldn't get it to work. And so took pictures of it, and it was a done deal. It sealed the deal that there is no photoshopping going on, that the office is in Santa Fe.
Oh,
But
okay. On that part, I'm okay.
yeah,
So I do have to say, O was great, and he
Mm.
did some sort of analysis on your pictures, and he can say Greg's picture is not Photoshop. So it's not like Greg. Some people were giving you a hard time, Greg, and saying he's on payroll now with the Fens, and
Who did the analysis?
I know. But there is some updates on the I'll put photo analysis at the end of this because there is some updates there, because one of the pictures is going to be analyzed. It's one with all the trinkets and stuff, I think. But the location in Santa Fe and that office in Santa Fe exists.
So
Hit the
people that
breaking-
right.
Well, that's the first one.
That's the first.
Greg from Brutal Truth Treasure Seekers.
The office
The
is
office.
real.
He found it. So let me know when we go to the pictures. And I
Well,
think
that gets rid of Wyoming, because a lot of people
Yeah.
thought it was at a ranger station or in a bank. So that gets rid of
Ranger
any
station.
conclusion. Yeah.
And I pulled architectural plant. You have no idea. And hey, that other source that told me it was absolutely true, and I was pissed off at me for not believing him. Why are you even questioning it? You need to believe me. You were wrong. You're wrong. I have been wrong too. Hashtag GPS source sucked also.
I'm
but go
there. I'm with you.
Should
So,
we start
yeah.
charging everybody that is wrong when we go out there and search for their soul?
because this is our journeys together. You know what? We're all wrong but one, no matter how many times people say they're right. So Mike, let's see the pictures.
Well, somebody in chat wants to know if you got your bill yet from Carl for his time, Greg.
Oh, can you imagine?
I offered to take him out for a drink and everything, but if I would have stayed another day, I probably would have went out to drink with him and bought him dinner and everything. So I told him next month when I go down, I'll take him out for dinner for talking to me.
So these
Nice.
pictures are in no particular order, and I think I have some duplicates, but I'm going to let Greg narrate because he's the one that was there. And before you do, Greg, I just want to give a shout out to the searcher who sent me the picture of Jack and Forrest sitting right there in those two chairs. And I thought that was a window behind there. That's how he was right. The searcher that emailed me, that is a skylight reflecting. And I didn't realize that in the original pictures that Forrest put out. So take it away, Greg.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
you
so-
also
yeah.
get no money if you're right. You get no money if you're wrong. You get no money.
Like Mike, that light is like the sun, I think literally has to be almost over the building and off a little bit for it to come down and match. You know what I mean? Because I was there probably I would say about 3-4 o'clock in the afternoon.
And right there, you can determine the time that Jack and Forrest were in this office based on the sun. Hashtag Beacon Star Sundial.
Correct, and you could see the imperfections on the wall too. If you have a picture of Forrest and Jack, you can line it up right next to each other. I didn't know if you had one to line it up, put one
I
side
don't
by
have mine
side.
handy. No, I could do it by the end of the show though.
Okay. Yeah, so the lights weren't on at this time. No lights were on when I took a picture of this.
So the chairs match the. Some people were saying last night, what about the carpet ones? The carpets match. I mean, I don't think there's anyone, I hope, that would say this is not, I mean, Greg of all people. So it's not someone that's been accused of being on Fenn's payroll. He's been to Santa Fe. This office existed unless it's an elaborate scheme, which I
Yeah.
don't think
There
it would
it
be.
is. Greg is there.
Yeah,
He-
and the
he's just not
cactus.
There.
He's just 9 months late with no damn treasure chest.
Yeah. like Bill said, that's as close as your ass is gonna get to that chest. Never. That's what he said.
That was funny.
And I disagree. You've already moved mountains. I didn't think there was a chance you were going to get in this office. So,
Yeah.
hey,
didn't.
treasure
I
chest will
didn't.
be the next.
Yeah, treasure chest is the next move.
Nice.
Greg, can I ask who took the picture or no?
Well, that was Carl that took the picture.
Oh, okay. All right.
It was just him and I in the office.
Gotcha.
So that's through Carl's eyes.
Yeah.
Oh, Greg, man, I hear you, man. That's pretty damn impressive, dude.
Yeah.
He not only figured it out, he went there, which is
Yeah.
impressive, and got the lawyer to,
He took some of that carpet home and put it in his bedroom upstairs too.
Everybody was asking.
Go ahead, Greg.
Everybody was asking, did you put your hands on the table? Did you kiss it?
I would say look underneath for gold nuggets. But here's the one thing too. You might have been able to see it, but you got rightful, appropriate, permissioned access, and I think that's huge as well. So good work. But I think the nice part is because there's going to be people questioning, there's many different angles. So you can see the light, you can see the skylight, you can see the carpet, you can see the chairs, you can see the table. I don't think anybody in the room right now, can you say, is there any piece of this room you would question? Because Greg's going back and it sounds like parties in the office where the
And like I said, Gabriel and Mike, I wanted to build a foundation when I go out there. I didn't want to bombard them with a bunch of questions, and that's
Yeah.
my whole thing. I wanted, like I was saying last night, I wanted to build a foundation. So every time I go down there, I'm respectful. I already got Dorothy kind of a little bit, I'm going to work on her a little bit, at the bookstore, but I'll get to that part at another date.
I know a lot of people thought the reflection of this cactus in the Jack and Forrest picture was off, so maybe this will help people. You see the reflection. Now the sun would have been at a different angle, but maybe it'll help people rectify, I guess.
Yeah, somebody said something, the branch was missing or something. Something was broken off of it. But you can't deny the pictures.
Right. So you were sitting, that's the seat where Jack sat. And then
Correct.
Forrest sat to the right. So you sat where the finder sat, or if you believe Jack's the finder sat.
Yeah, I don't believe that.
Should have took the cactus. You should have just grabbed
I
it.
should, I should have just grabbed it and ran. no, my luck, I would have fell right on top of it or something.
So you guys can ask questions just like Queen Anne just did. She put @KPro, so I see it. It highlights it for me. Ask Greg who was in the room when the chest was there. Do you know that, Greg? Because we may have breaking news. We've gotten that confirmed. We will show that email in just a minute. But did you guys talk about that? Let's see if it matches.
All he said was it was him, Carl, Forrest, Jack, and Jack's attorney. That's all he said.
Okay.
I didn't go into detail. I didn't, like I said, I didn't want to pressure, you know what I mean? I
Yep.
was getting privileged to do this, and I was very respectful about it and very happy. So I left it at that.
Nice. Okay. So, so matching information. So what questions, guys, before we move to, a searcher actually reached out to us and wanted us to see an email from Jack that said exactly what Greg just said. Those were the 4 people in the room. And not saying that there wasn't others, but those were at least 4 people in the room. But are there questions that we have about, how long were you in there, Greg? Probably 5-10 minutes?
If that.
Okay.
Yeah, it was more or less try to get in, take the pictures and get out, kind of, you know what I mean? Like I said, I didn't want to push them,
Yeah.
And
now I know it's
this reflection.
I know it's been asked on others, by others, but I want to ask but feel free to say, you're not going to say, will you say whose office this is?
No.
Okay. So, and that is fair enough, everybody. We can ask questions. We don't need to get answers to everything. Is there a reason you're not giving that information out at this time?
Because that person wasn't there, and if I would have got, excuse me, if I would have got his permission, then I would have told everybody. But
Gotcha.
he was not there, and Carr walked me in there, so I'm not going to give that information due to the fact he wasn't there and gave me permission to say who he was.
Yeah.
And
And
that's
so,
Yeah.
yeah, that is fair. This is I think, breaking news, and there's a couple of different philosophies on this, but I want to get the entire panel's thoughts on this. How did Jack get an attorney that fast? We know Jack only met with Forrest that once. I have two leading thoughts, but I want to start with you guys on, can that be confirmed? I think that can be confirmed because Carl has said that those were the people in the room. We have Jack that has said those were the 4 people in the room. So this is sometime within a day or two of Jack having the chest that those 4 people were in that room. So Jack had an attorney within 24 hours. Now I have 2 thoughts on that, but I want to hear from you guys first. Fendi, what do you think?
All right, Jack not only had an attorney, he had an agreement that was signed up for Finn to sign, prepared, so Finn could only say certain things, is what my impression is.
Oh, we have more breaking news because I asked Jack that.
That's right.
I thought that too, and I just went straight to the source and asked him. We have another email that we'll show in a minute, but there was an agreement, whether it was written or verbal.
That's right. Yeah.
We'll clarify, but I'm on the same page as you.
Yeah,
Billy Shaw points that out. He says, how does Jack have a lawyer retained and ready to meet in Santa Fe if he found it the day before? It's sounding more plausible that it was found earlier than June 5th. And that's kind of what you were saying, right?
All right. And then the second thing I'd just like to say to follow up to that would be actually, too, this even proves the toe-to-toe theory. You know what I'm saying? I mean, there has to be something there that, because that happened so quickly, Jack had to have been prepared, and he had to have known that there was a high probability he was going to go home with that chest, you know. But Finn going and putting the toe-to-toe gives that little mystery out there. So I'm telling you, that's good stuff, y'all.
Okay, Adam, Fred, Tom, and Chris later. I don't know. Adam, what do you think?
I think it is interesting that he had a lawyer all ready to go, almost as if he knew he was bringing the chest back before he left. But then again, I know other searchers have had lawyers in place ready for that occasion. I know a Gypsy's Kiss, they had lawyers ready to go when they found the chest.
Okay, so Greg, what do you think? And then we'll go Cowlazars, and then I'll give my 2 competing angel and devil. I'll give you both.
What do I think?
What do you think about Jack having an attorney within?
Who says it's his attorney? Why isn't it Forrest Fenn's attorneys?
Well, you'll see.
I'm just saying. Why does that's all I'm saying. Why does it have to be his attorney?
And that's a good point, Greg. But I won't say it's Forrest's attorney, but what I think happened and what makes the most sense, Occam's razor, I think Mr. Clue put that in the chat. When Jack called for permission on Friday and Forrest said, yes, I give you permission, Forrest is probably like, I have a lawyer and I can set this up. You know, if Jack was going to be like, I'm going to go get it in the morning, I'll be in Santa Fe tomorrow night or whatever the timing was. Forrest was like, I think Forrest set it up with this lawyer, in my opinion. I have no idea who the lawyer is. You know what I mean? But I think Forrest gave the suggestion to Jack. I've got a lawyer. Now, did Forrest have this planned? Don't know, but maybe off the top of his head, Forrest was like, we could do this at this lawyer's office. You talk to him, you make the agreement. But I think it was at Forrest's suggestion that they went to that office with that lawyer. We did get a super chat.
And that would make sense, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would, right? Mr. Scott Conway with a $5 super chat. He says, Greg, is it a government or civilian office? The plot thickens.
The plot thickens. Neither.
Interesting. It's not a movie set. This isn't like
It's
the
not
moon
government.
landing,
It's
right?
non-government. Not government is how.
It's not government. It's not government. Yeah.
Okay, so here's exactly what. Okay, so if you believe that Jack is the finder, Jack was super confident. He knew going out there, so he had it all lined up. And when he came into town, he knew, like Toby and Shelly, and they were in the wrong state. He was just sure of it. That's the angel in me. The devil, or switch them, doesn't matter. Says exactly what Mike just said. And the answer is actually Forrest had thought of everything and said, you can't use Carl, my attorney, because I'm already in litigation over the chase. It would be a conflict of interest. But I have a second person who's also, that also has expertise, who I trust. So you can't use my attorney, but he's a good attorney. Do you want to all meet together? And they all met together. I don't know which one. Well, maybe someone can ask Jack. I don't know.
I was going to say, has anybody asked Jack?
Yeah, that's true.
No, I bothered Jack on other things. And so this is what I think is going to happen when someone goes out and gets great content like Greg just got. Now we're going to have the ripple questions and effects and stuff. So yeah.
So 2 things from the chat.
Well,
One, yeah, go ahead, Greg.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say 2 things from the chat. Kelly Twist says, Forrest said he thought of everything. I'm sure the lawyer was set up ahead of time, possibly. But Lucky Digger says, how do we know the date of the meeting? It could have been a week or even a month later. Have we got confirmation from Jack of when that meeting took place?
The confirmation I have
Or
received,
from Forrest. Yeah.
is there was only the one initial meeting, and then Jack, we saw it in the Medium announcement, I believe, or maybe on Dale's. Forrest said it wasn't. No, Jack said it wasn't possible, that they just didn't reconnect in Santa Fe.
I see.
That
So we're just
there-
putting 2 and 2 together. That
Yeah, that it was just that one initial meeting, and I think that's pretty much been confirmed. But we can confirm more poignantly now that we have breaking news.
Greg's like Encyclopedia Brown. He puts it together and goes after it.
That's all. But I have more than that. I mean, I went seen Dorothy. I talked to the guy that did the drawings. I have an interview with him. I'm supposed to go back down and interview him next month.
I want to hear the story about Dorothy because she's kind of a pit bull. The couple times I've talked to her, she's a little, what? I got my opinion. Encyclopedia
I
Brown.
tell you, she wasn't that bad, but it was a COVID thing. She even made it clear, I'm scared of the COVID. So they're not, like, one person wanted me to see if the book was still behind the desk, behind the cash register and all that. But you can't go in the building right now because they're doing curbside.
Oh,
So
it wasn't even open. Oh, okay.
yeah, so I had to knock on the door, and a girl answered it, and I said, can I speak to Dorothy? Is she here? I want to get an autograph on the Forrest Fenn book. That was my first thing I asked. And Dorothy came, and she was just like kind of standoffish. She wasn't rude. She was just like, I'm scared of the COVID. You know what I mean? I said, hey, I would like you to sign the book. She's like, I can't sign somebody else's book. So I was like, she's like, you still want the book? I said, no, I got the book, but I'm going to be back to interview you. And she goes, well, right now I'm scared of the COVID. That's what she said. She wasn't mean.
When I was there in July, I went, and everybody, some of you know this story. I pulled up and I parked in front, and I bought a book, and it said to go in the certain entrance and not the other one. And I went in the wrong one. Oh, and she's like, what are you doing? And she was like, not yelling. She was just, what are you doing here? And I said, I bought a book. She goes, you're in the wrong entrance. And I thought, you're going to kill me. She was like, not happy, not literally, guys. But she said, you're supposed to go around the other way. Give me your last name. I'll get your book. And I gave it to her. And then I came out, and the Santa Fe police were there, and my dogs and cats. And they're like, where is the permit for your animals? I'm like, get me the hell out of here. But I was going to meet Forrest, so I didn't say that at the time.
I couldn't take you down to interview somebody. You get me in trouble. You'd be taking the dog, and the dog would be pissing in the corner, and I'd never get an interview again.
On the carpet. Okay, so somebody asked, why do I think Jack was or Forrest set up the attorney? I have no knowledge. It was just something Mike brought up. I thought the other way. Jack would already had it set up. I see both as plausible. Both make logical sense. So that's all I'm saying, is both are on the table for me until one is ruled out. Did Dorothy call the cops? The room would like to know.
No. She was real. Like I said, she was just, I told her I'll be back in a month and a half at the latest. She just said, okay, but I'm scared of the COVID. That's what she told me.
Oh, that was for me. No, by the time I came out, I had parked in a 10-minute spot or a loading and unloading, and they are very serious. I guess that's high-end crime in Santa Fe. And then I was actually moving, and so I had my dogs, cats, kids, and truck full. And they're like, oh, do you have a permit for that animal? And I'm like, I'm moving. I don't live here. That would have been the only time. I've never been arrested. If they tried to take my 14-year-old dog that barely made it, there would have been some issues. But he's like, just leave town now. And I was like, okay. And then I went to
problem.
Forrest's house. And I'm like, Forrest, I hope they're not following me.
We do have some more breaking news coming up, but Busco Toto, or Busco to do, I'll accept either answer, says Barbara filed suit on him Monday, June 8th, claiming the unknown defendant hacked her. He needed a lawyer immediately. But Busco, what we're saying is it happened on the 6th, was Friday, right? And then we think the meeting happened Saturday or Sunday. So we think the meeting with Forrest and the lawyer actually happened before Barbara or whoever filed suit on Monday, June 8th. Isn't that the timeline we're thinking? How?
Yeah, but the Erkstein case, he had been served that Thursday before. I think just in general, this was not related to one particular person, because I just kind of lumped all the lawsuits in together. There were some before, there was one after. That's all I say. I don't think it was related to the particular. I don't think Forrest said get an attorney because of a current lawsuit and here's the person's name. I think in general, he said, you're now opening Pandora's box, get your own. And maybe he paid for it. I don't know, or his estate did, or somebody did. I don't know. That's my opinion. Okay, so now we know. So what do we know? We know that it is correct that there is in Santa Fe, that place where Jack and Forrest were with the treasure chest, and Carl and Jack's attorney, right? So that's what we know for sure, right?
Facts, 100%.
Facts. But you still doubt that Jack's the finder. I find this. I thought you were coming back going, Jack's the finder now.
No.
Why are you still doubting it? Or can you say?
Because I've asked him for the last 2 weeks for pictures in the woods, in the car, or anywhere at the hotel, and it don't take that long for one single picture. It just doesn't. I mean, so from now on, it will just throw up a red flag that it is Photoshop, because he's already put that in people's heads in the search community. Anything he comes forward now, he's already screwed up. I mean, there's. Go ahead, Adam.
Greg, does the panel agree that they had it in their mind, like I did, that this would end with someone finding the chest, taking it to Forrest's house, them embracing in the house, having a lovely moment, and then pictures of them together, and them talking together, and I just figured it would all be like lovey-dovey like that.
It would have, and then somebody would have.
But it's so clinical, lawyers and solicitors involved, and the handover in a cold office. It's not how I figured it would be. Do you think that?
Adam, yeah, go ahead, Greg.
Yeah, I agree. You know what I mean? I think the community is like, everybody thought that it was going to be this great thing when somebody found it. Like, the solve was going to come forward, everything. And it was going to be like something right under our nose. Like why didn't I think about that? Yeah. Why didn't I think about that?
Yeah. And it's not played out as anyone thought it would. I don't think.
And Susie Fenhaven just says, I wonder if anyone took video as well as photos. That's what should have been done. It should have been videoed, in my opinion. But again, that's only if you want to prove something. If you want to be anonymous, which Jack did at the time, I guess you don't want video taken, right? So
if you're in Yellowstone National Park, you damn sure don't want video taken. Excuse
me.
No,
in the lawyer's office.
Yeah, okay, my bad.
Yeah.
Well, Fendi, what do you think? This ending, did you see it in a office, whether it's lawyers or not, an office sitting and reviewing? I don't know. Did you see it this way?
My vision was that I would be hanging out with Forrest Fenn, laughing on that 5 acres in Santa Fe, just having a good old time. And I probably would have spent the next 6 months with him, to be honest with you. You wouldn't have pried me out of that place. But yeah, but let me add real quick, man. But what I really believe that this proves is this was just like a business transaction. This is like there was a manager of a corporation, and this is what I believe is that it was a business agreement that kind of took this over, and that's why it seems so cold to us being searchers, because we had that Indiana Jones moment in our mind on finding the gold, and it's not what it's coming out to be. Sorry.
Well, here's something we're going to talk about later, K-Pro, and that is there is no way in hell the family would have allowed Jack into their home with COVID, right? And in my opinion, I'll just say in my opinion.
Right, but we already know he was in front, right? He was in front of them, though.
What do you mean?
With no mask.
He was in the house, and they called him Bill.
Jack?
Yes.
How come I'm just hearing about this?
Like a week ago, I was like, are you guys making this up? And
Where'd you get these from?
I don't know about that, Kate, bro. I'm gonna
No,
call
it's in-
bullshit.
no, it's in one of the okay, so hold on a second.
Find it
Like
from the beginning.
like a week ago, someone said on one of the channels, I thought it was yours, Greg. I don't remember where. They said Jack stated that when he was in Forrest's home, they called him Bill rather than his last name. And I said, guys, where are you reading this? You're out of your minds, just like you guys just said.
Oh, I
And they
think it was
gave me
Bill,
a
yeah.
link. Yeah, they gave me a link to the Medium article, one of the articles of Jack's. And it says that when he was in Forrest's home, he met their family, but they called him Bill rather than his name to keep his anonymity or whatever. I missed that detail. I was like,
Yeah,
you guys are.
I'm playing it again because I
Yeah.
never heard that.
Yeah, you'll have to ask Bill about that one. I don't know that one.
Oh no, Bill last night or night before last on his chat, he goes, so my dog's name is Jack and everyone called him Bill. I'm the finder. And then he went into Moses or Jesus or something. And I was like, what? But that is an odd coincidence. They called him Bill and Bill's dog's name is Jack and his name is Jack.
Yeah, that is weird.
Forrest,
It
stop
is
messing
weird.
with Bill.
It
Stop
is
messing
weird.
with Bill.
Yeah, it is weird. It is very weird.
And the chat saying it was in the Jack Gets Mail article. So, okay. But do we know it was that weekend? But I guess we do because Jack says he couldn't get back. So, yeah, to me, why would they not do that in Forrest's den if he had the treasure chest with him? Oh, maybe there's a security issue. Maybe there's a safety issue. I mean, I don't know. Maybe Jack thought he was followed. That is interesting, though. Huh.
Okay, so I have a link
Why would you
up
go
on.
to it?
I have a link up on Thor. It's called something like, why was the ending so serious? I don't know if you guys have read it, but I'm like, confidentiality agreement sitting in an office. Obviously, Forrest is seeing it for the first time because he's going through with it. I said, I thought I'd be at Forrest's house kicking back. I definitely have a beer with him. I've had a beer with him. We'd have another one. I'd be bringing shots. We'd be doing that brandy bottle from Jackie O.
Yeah.
I mean, I just see it so differently. And I'm not knocking Jack because I know Jack has said to some searchers, I didn't have the relationship that some of the searchers had. And that's like me. I know I would be high-fiving with Forrest and then we'd be going, oh, hell, definitely don't put out my name because people will say it's a, but like Fendi, you'd never met him, right?
Never. No, I just
So,
had conversations by email.
But didn't you have in your mind it would be more personal than an office?
100%. I mean, I never imagined meeting with Forrest Fenn anywhere but his home, and that was it. Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Right. So yeah. So I think there's a there, but we're going to talk about, okay. So release the solution hashtag. Yeah. And somebody was saying, what if we put a GoFundMe together of Jack, name your price, and you have to put the solution out. And is it, it's probably $1,000 he'd do it for, but 100 grand, whatever, he would probably get it. But and that's why I think there's another reason. I don't think it's the money. So, okay. So do you guys have any other questions or thoughts, chat room or panel on, we know there's an office that they were at in Santa Fe, like it was said.
That's the important part, that it is in fact Santa Fe. Thanks to Greg for tracking it down and actually going there and taking pictures.
Yep, and I'm just getting started too.
All
And we're going to talk more about that. If we want Greg to continue this on, we have some things that we want to talk about that when we kind of circle back at the end. Go ahead, Fendi.
Nice. I was just going to say, I mean, excuse me, like along the LLC lines, like we were talking about, and Greg had said he doesn't believe that Jack was the finder. That could make perfect sense for this situation, because if an organization was created, there could actually be numerous people that have ownership capabilities in that organization, but not have full control of that organization too. So I mean, if you sit down on a business level and talk about this with probably like a business lawyer, we might be able to get some great insight into this too. And that might be a great way that some GoFundMe money might be well spent.
Well, we do have a searcher that just reached out, who the spouse is an attorney, and they said they have some expertise and they'd be willing to come on the show. They do need to be scheduled a couple weeks out, but like I think they're seeing a lot of us laymen's going, we think this, and they're like, I'd come on not as an attorney, but just to say, here is some expertise, because they're,
That's
actual lawyers. And I think it'd be great. I said, Mike, whatever week it is, we'll work around it. Let's get that booked, which I thought was super cool. Yeah.
Okay. on to the next breaking news.
Okay. I'm nervous.
Is this the PowerPoint?
You never asked me one question though.
Oh boy.
Uh-oh. What's the one question we should have asked and we didn't, Greg?
Did you
Why didn't Carl and them send Barbara a fee and they sent the other guy a fee?
Oh, we don't care about that. Let's move on.
Okay.
If you want to know the answer to that, now you guys all have a reason to go and subscribe to Greg's channel because he will discuss that on his channel.
She does not say, I could care less. She don't scare me.
Chris
I'm
is
not
pretty
saying-
sharp.
We just have actually good content to bring that's Chase related. Let's move on, Mike.
I did put a
Yeah.
link to Greg's channel and a link to Fendi's channel in the chat, everybody.
Yeah,
Go
thank you.
subscribe.
Thank you.
All right, here we go. Another world famous K-Pro PowerPoint. Here we go, everybody.
Oh dear Lord. Okay, so
Clarify.
there's a couple of things. Kind of like, I don't know if you guys have been watching Cynthia's videos that she's doing. She's doing a series of Cynthia conversations, or I forget the name of it. And then at the beginning of each one, if she gets clarification from previous one, she says, hey, I want to clarify, I said this wrong or I got clarification. So I'm going to start there. And then I am going to end with, maybe it's not a big deal to you guys, but it is a big deal to me because I rarely have caught Forrest telling me something that was not true. I pressed a little bit. I found it out something about June 6th. And he said some things that weren't true, and it's always bugged me, but that is the reason I thought there was a conspiracy at the beginning, that Jack wasn't the finder. I wasn't super vocal about it, but there was a lot of times I said, I don't know if he is, and there was a reason. And tonight I'm going to share that. Go ahead,
And
Mike.
that, in fact, it's never been shared before, not publicly on our channel. So that'll be after the PowerPoint. All right, here we go. Okay, bro.
No, during the PowerPoint. It's the last 5
Oh,
slides of the
gotcha.
PowerPoint that you reviewed to make sure it was accurate. Thank you, Mike. Go ask Mike.
What's it called?
Tell
Kate,
him
bro?
to. It's called Jack Clarifies.
Hey,
Okay.
here we go.
I can't do it right now, babe. My daughter wants me to go help with dinner. I'm like, I can't. Okay. So the first thing is, this was actually by a searcher that gave us some information, exactly what Greg just said. So this is just going to reinforce. The photos were taken by Forrest's lawyer and mine, who were in the room with us. So those pictures where Greg was, I'm going to call it Greg's office. Greg's office, Jack and Forrest sat. This was something that was given to another searcher, and he was okay with us sharing it with his name removed, of course. Just saying, yeah, this clarifies what I've already had out there. This is where I think, like Fendi has said, if we all as a community come together more and share a lot of these, this will help as well. So this just clarifies what was already said tonight. Okay, next slide.
Well, the other thing is somebody should clarify with Jack, if he's going to have every item professionally photographed, is he going to release that to the public after it sells? In other words, the finder doesn't need the photographs. I mean, the buyer doesn't need the photographs. The buyer's buying it. If he's going to have every item photographed, that'd be awesome if he would release it. I mean, I want to see a picture of everything.
I imagine Mike is going to photograph it for the potential buyers. So yeah, we'll all see it.
Oh, I see what you're saying. And then that would only be if it's a private auction. I really hope it's public, but we'll see. I got you.
It's going to be public either way. I know several people in the bid for it. Okay. So I did a series a couple of weeks ago now of why is the location and solution not being shared? Again, I'm going to give a shout out to Cynthia. Cynthia says, it's so nice when you summarize things, but Forrest actual words matter. So show the emails between you and Forrest. You are going to see some of these that say private please, etc. Forrest has passed. I don't feel like I'm betraying a confidence. I think I'm just putting out there so you guys actually see it accurately. So some of you may disagree with me, and I'm okay with that.
I'll say it again, K-Pro. Once we cross this bridge, there's no going back. You know that, right? But we got to give a shout out to Miss Cynthia Meacham, because she has started sharing some of the things Forrest has told her and some of her emails. And I think it's good for the community. A lot of people would like to know that information. And I think it's good to put it out. So here we go. Let's hope this bridge.
Okay, I changed my mind. Let's.
And then the screen cuts off.
Teaser.
Okay, so this was from. Next slide. This was from Forrest, June 18th. So the bottom is what I'm going to start with the big red circle. Let's have some fun. This is where you guys know I'm going to be asking for the community for different information. The June 6th was the date that it was found. This was June 18th. So I said, hey, why don't you answer some questions? Why the stick? Why the scissors? Why aren't the rubies and jewels in there? I think the community would love it. What do you think about a 1-week series? It doesn't, to me, I have a few other ones that didn't get, it's like, it doesn't matter if it's Jenny's or Dale's or whoever's. Let's just get it out. Let's have some fun, because I knew people were getting pretty negative. So he said, you've done so much for me, et cetera, et cetera. But he said, please give me a little time and we will do all of those things. I promise. I don't know what kind of contract that is, but that's a contract. I'm just June 18th, and I have a few others I'm going to share, not tonight, because we have a couple of other things. We have too much for tonight. Forrest was well prepared and wanting to give out information. My notion is there's some reason Jack is not doing it, but they're blaming Forrest because he no longer can defend himself. That's my position. Okay, sorry, I almost sneezed. Okay, so of course, my last solve was in Wyoming. So I emailed Forrest and said, Team Wyoming, thank you, I knew it.
And this is once it did come out that Forrest said it was in Wyoming. So Kate Pro didn't have any inside knowledge. She emailed Forrest after. I wonder if July 22nd was the day it came out, but go ahead.
Oh, it was probably the minute it came out. I wish I could have told you, but no one knew. I was sworn to secrecy. Secrecy will become important in a next couple of emails.
And he's talking about from Jack. They agreed not to say it until I think Forrest went to Jack and kind of said, you got to give him something. And that's when he has said the finder has agreed to reveal it was found in Wyoming. Okay.
So Gabriel, you say Team Wyoming on there. Did he respond to that when you said that?
That's the response
That's his
is up above.
response on the top.
Yeah.
Wish I could have told you, but no one knew, and I was sworn to secrecy.
So he just didn't confirm Wyoming.
So some people that believe that he does not believe actually the Wyoming the state, probably this could be parsed apart to say the same
That
thing.
confirms Wyoming, in my opinion.
In my opinion too, but that's, and Adam, Fendi, Greg, feel free to chime in, because we're going to just keep going through these until.
It sounds like Jack was calling the shots, doesn't it? Very much so.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's my opinion until I see otherwise, other than just words, unless I see otherwise. These are the kind of emails I got from Forrest that made me believe different. And I already put a whole presentation together of why I think also by the data that was out there. Okay.
And K-Pro, Meeps is very acute and says she's never, that was his Gmail avatar, FF. See the picture?
I have no idea why that comes up on mine. It does. It has changed over the years too, which you will see some that has a different, I have no idea why it picks that. Somebody might know that's more techie than me, because you guys know I know how to turn on a computer and that's about it.
What I don't know is if I can assign those pictures to people's Gmail, or does it have to come from the original sender? Yeah, it's a good point. Good eye, Meeps. I never even caught that. So
it's interesting that he says he wishes he could have told you.
There's a few emails. I'll tell you what I believe that's in context to. Forrest was very much appreciative. Look at the previous emails. Mike, if you want to go back one, like he was very appreciative. You've done so much for me and I appreciate it more than you know. He was very much focusing on wanting to make sure that he and I were good. We've had some rough patches. And so I think he was not wanting me to think I'm telling some people and not others. So that's how I took it. I don't know if that's the case, but that's how I took it. Like, I wish I could have told you, like he told a few of us, like,
go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, that's okay. He told a few of us, like, I never knew really who my close friends were until all this happened. And I think he was trying to say, you're still a friend. But you know, I don't know. So,
well, what I think he means when he says, I wish I could have told you, is he wish he could have told everyone, that he kind of wishes Jack would have went public with the solution. He's always said it's up to the finder, and he left it up to the finder. But I think Forrest is saying, I wish I could have told you, meaning I wish I could have told everyone. But that's not how Jack wants it to go down.
I like your answer better than mine.
He was sworn to secrecy by who? By Jack, because he said,
Jack,
I'm going to abide by the finder's wishes, and Jack wishes to be anonymous. And then it played out the way it did. But back when you got this email, Jack was still anonymous, correct?
Yeah, July, he was, I think it was, I don't know when. We're going to have some emails on it in a minute.
Okay.
I think it was September. It was obviously after no, it was November, December timeframe, because it was right before the December 8th cutoff date for the subpoena. Oop, here we go.
So we did get a super chat from Indiana Jones, a $10 super chat from Indiana Jones. He says, Indy was fighting the Nazis during World War II. The Nazis were responsible for the Holocaust. We were all a modern day Indiana Jones fighting a Holocaust taking place every day here in America. I don't know what that means, but thank you for the super chat, Indiana Jones. All right, here we go.
Yay. Yes. Okay, next slide. So there was some clarification. Findy, you actually segued it perfectly. I believed up to this point there was a non-disclosure agreement. Some emails started coming in that said, Jack's saying that you're not correct. So I just go to the source. So let me show you what I did. And there is clarification, and I actually believe it. Hi, Jack. I've had a variety of questions from searchers as to whether Forrest was bound by an agreement of confidentiality related to the find and finder. I was given this excerpt from the court documents to say, yes, it is below. But I understand that you have said there was not an agreement of confidentiality or a non-disclosure agreement. We will be discussing this on our next show, so I want to ensure you had an opportunity to weigh in. Hope you are well. So when we did the Puerto Rico, when I did the Puerto Rico analysis, Jack was unhappy because he has indicated he did not move to Puerto Rico, and he wished I would have just communicated beforehand, so then there wouldn't have been misinformation out there. And I appreciate that part. And so this was my opportunity to say, Jack, I'm going live with this. Did you want to give input? And I give him a lot of credit. Jack, you are a morning person, or you're in Puerto Rico and you're in a different time zone. I don't know which. I'm just kidding, Jack. Just laugh.
Hey, it was a good shot.
But he responded. I sent it to him last night, and he responded by early this morning, at least at Pacific Standards times.
Could call this Jack Stoof Says What? Here we go.
Okay, so wait, go back one.
So,
Got one question for you though, okay, bro?
Yeah.
So you say you email him, okay? And you do
Yep.
all that stuff just to clarify, just to see what he thinks.
Yeah.
Have you asked him for pictures at all for the woods or in the
No.
car or anything?
No, I email him maybe once a week, once every other week, and it's usually for a show. I have not. He has said no to so many people, and I have seen how many different ways he has said no. I just thought, why even ask him when I know he has told everyone in the world? It's not like Forrest, or at least to me, I felt like Forrest and I had a connection enough and I knew him enough. I don't know, Jack. I don't think he's going to do me a favor any more than the 50 other searchers that have asked him.
So if he doesn't want to show him, what do you think his reasons for?
I know someone very close to him, or they say they're close to him and talk pretty regularly. And I think he's a little bit like Forrest. He is so not happy with the conspiracy theories, and he is now dug in. He's doing it just because we want it, kind of like when Forrest said, no more hints, I'm not ruling out a state. He had dug in. He was sick of it. He wasn't going to do it. I told him, why not rule out a state? Because I'm sick of the
Well, then he should have never even been a searcher then. I mean, he should have never even went searching for it. He knew how that's just what I'm saying,
Or he shouldn't be corresponding with everyone.
He shouldn't be saying nothing. But that'll just make it worse too. So, either way, he's already screwed up from the beginning of how it all ended.
Yeah. And I think, and there's lots of opinions on that of right now, is he doing better or worse? I think I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. I think he's been trying to talk with searchers to try to maybe give him closure, but he doesn't realize they're not going to get closure. But so why is he answering is WWWH water and not show us another picture? I don't know, but that's the answer at least.
and just to recap, in one of the court documents from one of those lawsuits, it says disclosure of the identity and contact information of the finder will be a violation of the agreement of confidentiality to which Fenn is subject with the finder. So K-Pro, you being proactive now that Jack says, hey, check with me on this stuff, said, hey, look what it says in the document. How do you explain that? Right?
Yes. So this is what Jack wrote back. And thank you, Jack. I asked Forrest to keep my anonymity, and he agreed to try to protect that, and did so. I think that's what he was referring to, not an NDA.
So in other words, a verbal agreement between Jack and Forrest.
Not
Ju-
necessarily a verbal agreement. So I did a little bit more searching. Go to the next slide, because Google and law101.com is a great resource. We have the internet. So what's the difference between an agreement of confidentiality and a non-disclosure agreement? They are used especially by layman's interchangeably, but there is a difference. An agreement of confidentiality can just be, hey, Adam, I'm going to tell you a secret and you are going to keep that secret. We have an agreement of confidentiality. A
Mhm.
non-disclosure agreement is a little bit more, it can still be verbal, but it's much more serious in a contract form where parties agree to not disclose the what they've shared each other, and it's kind of a mutual agreement. So I'm going to take it now. I'm kind of, I don't know how I feel about this, and maybe the panel can weigh in. That term, agreement of confidentiality, was in the court document. So I would have thought it meant something more formal. But what I'm hearing Jack saying is it wasn't very, it was more the non-formal one. It wasn't a written contract, it was verbal. What do you guys think by those words that have been presented?
I think the first thing that comes to my mind after hearing everything that you just said was two people can keep a secret if one of them is dead. You know, I mean, that's like to the T right there of what he was going for. And Jack is holding the cards now. So, I mean, that's, God, it's like a punch in the gut a little bit, you know?
I agree with you, except for the little bit.
I know it's a big one.
Yeah. It's just not what I don't think he has to, and I won't push, but it's just such a terrible ending, and it's in Jack's hands.
Oh, it's
To
not
me-
over.
See, to me, Finn was a fighter. You know, this is what's hurting me is Finn was willing to go up against anybody and everybody for what he thought was right. And it seems like, you know, Jack has taken the whole opposite approach. Jack is saying, you know, I'm gonna take the safe approach here. And I don't know, man. I guess he had big shoes to fill with Finn. It's just
Adam,
what I feel.
Greg, you guys?
I don't know what Jack hopes to achieve by what he's doing, because he's not giving anybody any closure. If anything, he's just dragging it out even longer. In my opinion, he either should have come out and said everything or said nothing. I don't get all this answering people's emails, giving them a little bit, but not anything of importance. I don't get what the end game is for him by doing what he's doing.
Yeah, I agree.
If Jack ever does write a book, it would be very interesting to understand and have him explain his thought process.
I actually emailed Jack and asked him if he's got any regrets about how he's handled this from the moment he found the chest to now, and would he do anything differently? And he came back saying that he would have announced the chest had been found because he felt that he owed it to the people to tell them that. But he now accepts that trying to be anonymous was a waste of time. That's what he
And
said.
interestingly, Dan Barbarosi's book went into final editing about a week and a half ago. So we are going to have updated information all the way till a week and a half ago. So I bet you Jack may put in some of his regrets or thoughts. I thought the book, because it went to print, but it was a soft print, I guess. I don't know how it all works, but Dan said he was able to take edits all the way up until a few weeks ago. And then that's when it went into pre-editing or advanced copy. And advanced copy, that's how Tony got it and all of that. But all the way until a few weeks ago, we're going to get Jack from, it sounds like December, January, February, at least.
The journey he's gone through, yeah.
I pre-ordered the book today, by the way, K-Pro. I got the Kindle and the hardback version, so we can read it at the same time.
Oh, right. I'm excited. Okay. Okay. So now that's the last part of the clarifies. And now we're going to go all the way back to June 6th. Remember that day that Forrest Fenn announced that the treasure had been found.
Back to the PowerPoint.
Yes.
Under a canopy of stars.
Here we
Under
go.
the canopy of stars.
Under the
June
canopy of
6th.
crap.
Okay. So June 6th. Let's just go into it. I just want to just get this done and I'll put it out there and then see what you guys think. So next slide. Okay, so I was conversing with Forrest. This was now in August. We are preparing for the Fenn finale. I had been made aware and started communicating with a gentleman named Matt. You guys probably know him as Smell the Sunshine. And we were conversing about some things. I have taken some people's names and other information out, and there's just certain things I don't want out, but the pertinent stuff is in here to what we were discussing. And I say so I'm looking at the bottom right red circle, Matt Smell the Sunshine seems like a good guy. Part of the reason I'm only leaving Matt's name in is I've gotten Matt's permission to discuss the events as he knew them. He discussed them on Amy's channel. He doesn't know what a big thing it was to me, because this is one of the times that I know Forrest was not, I caught him red-handed, as Mike would say. Okay, so he said, his response was a little weird. Matt's a good guy. I've never met him. Private, please. I didn't bring up meeting him. I just said, seems like a good guy. And so that was a little odd to me, because I knew that Forrest had met him, and he was in his house on June 6th. And I knew the events that surrounded and the controversy in his home and with his family about Matt being there. So the plot thickened for me, and I thought, hey, the treasure's chest, it's over. So I'm going to call Forrest out and try not to push too hard, but I knew I was not being given correct information at that point.
So just for anybody who doesn't know, go ahead and give the backstory with Matt. Tell everybody what you know when you have this email exchange with Forrest, and how Forrest was caught red-handed. Possibly.
I'd rather go through it in the email, so I don't say it differently than the emails. That's one thing, and I think Cynthia's right. If I summarize it and then the words are a little different,
well,
we have
I'm just saying what we know. On June 6th, what do you know about Matt?
So
not
on
everybody
June
might know that.
Okay, so in general, on June 6th, Matt was over meeting Forrest, and when they met, one of the family members, and you're going to see it, Zoe, caught Matt without a mask.
This was in the home, in Forrest Fenn's home.
In Forrest's home. There was a pretty tension-filled set of moments about it. It might have been the final straw. I'm sick of this treasure hunt. You're risking our family's lives. There's been lots of other correspondence around that. But as I put it to Forrest, all hell broke loose, and I know it did. He kept saying, I don't know, Matt. I've not met Matt. I don't remember that. I don't remember that. So then I laid out exactly what I knew. And then Forrest responded in just kind of an awkward way.
We'll show that. But just so everybody's clear, because some people, it may be breaking news to somebody, is that the day the treasure was announced found, that June 6th, Smell the Sunshine, a searcher, was in Forrest Fenn's home meeting Forrest. Okay, now we go back to the email. So now you know that happened.
And Matt's been open with this, that this happened over time.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And then you say, hey, any info you can give me, even if it's private between us on updates. And then you say, Matt seems like a good guy. And this is August 4th. And Forrest says, I don't know anything about what's that say? Oh, I don't know anything about a headline coming. Matt is a good guy, but I have never met him. And now you're going, well, wait a minute. He was at your house. All right.
A headline coming. Hold on. I don't know anything
well,
about a headline coming.
I always ask him like a day or two in advance, is something coming out? And there would be times he would say something, well, kind of like our source, something's coming out next week. Forrest would try to let me know. We wouldn't tee up too many of our shows, because if something was coming out. So I always did that with Forrest. Or like if he was going to put out a scrapbook or whatever, he would let me know. And so I'd always check in, like, anything coming out this week, kind of thing.
I got
okay, Forrest, I know what happened with Matt on the day the treasure was announced to be found. So I know you have met Matt. I have and will keep it private, though. It wasn't my story to tell. I was more focusing on the fact that I've rarely caught Forrest telling me something that was blatantly untrue. So I knew it was untrue. And so I don't know how much more direct. I didn't want to be nasty, but I wanted to be direct. I was just like, and I know he was going through a lot, so I didn't want to press too hard. But that's what I said back to Forrest. Forrest's response is perplexing and said, I don't remember meeting Matt. F.
So he doubles down. But I also like that he says, I don't remember, because he's giving himself a little teeny way out. He didn't say I never met him. He said, I don't remember meeting Matt.
That's what you do in
Kinda
court.
like a lawyer. Yeah, exactly. Kind of like a lawyer.
I don't recall. Okay.
I don't
But
remember.
we're talking two friends, but also, or that's
But
how
also,
I considered.
Gabriel, I don't recall. My body's not good, but my mind is perfect, right? Isn't that what he always says?
Oh, wait, you'll see the next email. You're going to see exactly he
I was
says
going to say,
that.
I want to see
There we
what
go.
your reply was to that.
Yeah. Okay. So
Depends
then,
what the definition of is. Oh, sorry.
okay. So then the next email is, I just decided to lay it out there. The day of the hunt was called off. Matt was at your house. Zoe caught him without a mask on, and all hell broke loose. Some think that might be why the hunt was announced to be over just a couple hours later. Zoe was extremely upset, and Matt's visit was the final straw.
Wow.
So to be clear, K-Pro, when it was announced, you thought maybe Forrest ended it. In other words, there was a big blow up at the house over a searcher, and that night Forrest calls it off. What a coincidence, right? And this is the rabbit hole, and this is the bridge that once we cross it, there's no going back, because it does question the legitimacy of, did Jack find it? In my opinion.
Right. And it was over Forrest's family safety. And so I could understand. I knew the family was not enthusiastic about. I've talked to Zoe, I've talked to other family members. So I knew they weren't enthusiastic. This was my own private investigation, if you will. There was a lot of us talking about it and saying, is this why? Is this why? And so I again, like Greg does, I just went to the source and was like, tell me. And when he lied or misremembered, he's going to say misremembered in a minute. But he misremembered many times. I just felt there was something more. I have gotten, go ahead, Greg.
And sorry. Yeah. And
No,
that's
no.
what I did to the guy, Alan, that did the pictures. He said that he's seen the treasure chest. He went through it. Okay. He said he picked it up. It was very heavy. And he said the day he seen it, 3 days is when it disappeared, when Forrest went to go hide it. And then he goes, well, was it 3 or then he was like retracting, goes, it might have been 5 days. He goes, but it was 3. I says, do you remember that exact date that you seen the treasure chest? And Alan said, I can't recall, my brain's not all there. I'm getting older. I says, well, then this is where I flip it. I said, was it snowing outside? Give me something how the weather was. I mean, when you walked outside, was it cold? Was there something, that would have showed you, how the weather? He says, you know what? It was warm, and I think it was spring. And that's his exact
There
word.
it is. There it is. And that
So
makes sense. A lot of people think August of 2010, right?
Yeah.
And it wasn't in August,
Yeah.
Well,
Just-
August, spring, that.
I mean, yeah.
Man, August in Yellowstone, if it happened to be in Yellowstone, though, or Wyoming in that area, it could snow any day up there, and it can snow 6-8 inches at a time. He lucked up if that's where it was.
Okay. So you pretty much call Forrest out, right, K-Pro? And here's
Yeah.
his response.
I don't remember any of that, and my memory is pretty good. That goes to Greg's comment. So now he's tripling. Okay. I called off the hunt within an after I knew the treasure had been found, which we know isn't the case, because if we go by what Jack had said, Jack had recovered the treasure chest, was not to Forrest until Sunday, and Saturday morning, once he slept in and had a cup of coffee, decided to go pick it up and called Forrest. So within an hour was not Saturday night. So that is a perplexing statement now. I didn't know that at the
Sounds to
time.
me like he had to get Matt out of the house. Maybe he didn't want to tell Matt it had been found. Like he's like, get this, you know what I mean? He wanted to
Well,
wait until
it would no, I've already confirmed with Matt. What time were you there? He was
Oh,
there
okay.
from noon to 2. It was already
Okay.
over.
I got
And
you.
Matt was at his house when supposedly it was already over. So he said, I called the hunt off within an hour, not hours, an hour after I knew the treasure chest had been found, which I don't believe is the case if you look at the timeline. I didn't want anyone else to be hurt while searching. There were no other factors playing. Of course, I could be wrong.
He always leaves a way out, doesn't he?
Private, please. Now, also, there's a period and then a space period. There was a sentence, I believe, there that he removed. Maybe he said it and then what? I don't know. But I don't remember any of that. So now I've told him exactly what I know. I know what happened. Others know what happened. It's in some parts of the search community. So first time I could see, okay, I totally forgot. Second time, nope, I didn't. Okay, here's what happened. And I talk about the mask, Zoe, all hell broke loose. The
And-
confrontation,
Yeah.
I didn't even get into any more detail. I had more detail. And he's like, no, I don't remember.
Is it not possible though that he was just a bit embarrassed about that whole situation and didn't really want people to know about
Yeah.
it?
That's what I think, Adam. I think you're right. I think Forrest definitely remembered it. This is 2 months later. When
Oh, he absolutely remembered it, but I imagine he's
Especially when
quite,
there was
I imagine the whole thing was quite embarrassing for him, and he doesn't really want to talk about it.
And also, he probably doesn't want to leave the impression that maybe he ended it because of the big blow up. Could this have just been a coincidence that Jack found it and showed up? Or whenever Forrest says, I let everybody know within an hour, whatever that was, could it just be the coincidence it was the same day after the big blow up with the family? Maybe, but some people don't believe in coincidences. So
Has
Okay.
anybody ever figured out the JF initials? Did you guys find them anywhere? Have you ever found them?
the illustration, right?
Yeah.
No,
I know some, I don't know. I know that came up once. I don't remember.
Yeah.
Okay, so some
Jack-
people are saying I'm making up this set of emails, or this is a lie so far. Well, Forrest remembers soon. So let's get to the Forrest remembers.
You're always going to get criticized. It don't matter what you say.
Well, for the people that love and adore Forrest, yes, Forrest, of course, it was just a memory. And now after the fourth pressing, here's the email.
Well, maybe somebody could check it to see if it's been altered.
Have you ever?
Oh, how much do I need to pay you? Oh,
How come you haven't called
Within
Jack
an
yet,
hour
K-Pro?
after I knew.
because Jack has said he does not want anyone visiting him or calling him, and I respect that.
And I don't have his number. I don't know if you do, K-Pro, but I don't have it. And wouldn't ask him for it, you know.
Well, for the record, I mean, if he wants to call any of us, just go ahead and give us a call. We're here.
We
waiting
can
to
open the
listen.
phone lines right now.
Yeah, open the phone lines. Call in.
Jack,
Let's see what you got to
there
say,
you go.
Jack.
If Jack wanted to talk to me, he could definitely, he knows how to get a hold of me, and he has said to email him. I would not overstep. I actually don't email him very often just because I don't know. I just don't want
Detroit,
to
hello.
overstep.
We can open the phone lines.
He's been nothing but cool to me too. Actually, I've
Yeah.
emailed him a few
Yeah.
times, and he's always been cool to me. And
Well,
I've probably been pretty critical of him here lately.
I just call him out. I don't
You know what?
sugarcoat it.
He was frustrated in one of the emails. It was about Puerto Rico. He was concerned about why I put misinformation out. I didn't know it was. Some people have asked for the email. Anybody that has that, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to say we haven't had all positive exchanges. I think he's in a hard spot because I do want to get information out. And I think there's certain information he wants out in a certain way. And I think us keeping shows up, and there's 3 of us having shows, I think that might not align with how he wants things to play out. And that's okay. So I don't disparage him. I just put it out like I see it.
Okay, so you pretty much Forrest comes back and triple downs and says, yeah, I could be wrong, but I just don't remember that. And then K-Pro says, you're full of it. No, she didn't say that. What'd you say?
No, I try to be like, yeah. I don't know what to think right now. Mac went to, I'm thinking maybe he just didn't remember him at his house, but then we know where Matt went after because we were all live later. Matt went to Cynthia's from your house when it went down before the announcement. Then the announcement came and it seemed to be timed that way. Okay, so I'm just trying to jog memories, and it works here eventually.
Now I remember the part about him going to
You were like a dog with a bone, weren't you, Capo?
And if he would have stopped replying, I probably would have stopped. But every time he replied, I gave it. Yeah. Now I remember the part about him going to Cynthia's. You are right, and I'm wrong. That is the only time he's ever said he was wrong. I will say sometimes he'll say you were right, but he's never said I'm wrong. I remember him saying that they were going to her house and they were going to dinner. Sorry, I had to be jogged. I was confusing him with someone else.
Isn't it interesting that he never confirms that Matt was at his house? He just says, oh, I remember the part about him going to Cynthia's, but he doesn't talk about the part where he was over and the family got upset, and he just skips over that like it never happened. And I think Adam's right. I think it's just he didn't want that to get out because it would look like he ended it for that reason. Now, somebody in the chat says his daughter was stalked, somebody broke in. Why would he end it over what happened that weekend? I wasn't there. I don't know how bad the blow up was with the family. So I can't say what was different about that weekend, June 6th, with you know, a searcher not having a mask on, other than coronavirus is a pretty serious thing. But
Peggy's health, I think, had,
you know,
you have to remember within 2 months, 3 months, both of their parents had passed away. During coronavirus, it was very, very serious. You saw Cynthia needing to have a distance from Forrest. I think Forrest still wanted to, I think we, like he said, we were all he had left because he's so social and so wanted to interact. And so I think that was a sticking point. Obviously.
I'm very surprised that Matt got to come over. I'm very surprised that, do you think Forrest kind of lays down the law and says, oh no, this person's coming over regardless of what whoever else was in the house thinks? Or, I mean, how do you think they got him to come in?
Christy, you knew Forrest as well as anyone in the chase. Do you think he would have caught it early, pulled it himself?
At the time, so it's a complicated answer. It's not a Greg yes or no.
You know me. It's yes or no.
This isn't the brutal truth.
Well, yes, exactly.
There you
Thank
go,
you.
Adam.
I would say he did say if someone was going, if a murder would have happened, he would have absolutely pulled it. If someone else died, he was considering it.
Mhm.
I know his family had been through so much. So I would have said no, because I won't say that they'd been through worse, but they'd been through kidnapping and major things. A mask with the searcher that their grandpa let in or dad let in, I don't think was at that same level, but I do think Forrest knew he was sick. I do think Peggy was very frail, and coronavirus could instantly change their family's life if it's brought in. I know he asked me when we did the November 19 interview, does the people that we were with have kids? And I had small kids. Mike had small kids, and the documentarian that came with us had small kids. And he said, I cannot risk going and bringing something back to Peggy. And that was the reason we met in Douglas's office. And I'm sure he sanitized or whatever on the way out. I believe they were very, very worried because they knew she'd already been hospitalized with pneumonia and other things, lung issues. If she got corona, it was going to be over. So I think they took it. So could that be a reason? At the time, I sure thought it. Do I think it now? I don't. I'm just trying to be kind of open with, this is why everybody asks, how did you question Forrest? Because here's the thing, Adam, that I respond to say, maybe he was just embarrassed. Forrest and I had plenty of discussions of, I'd be embarrassed if you put that out, don't put that out. And I wouldn't. I always kind of held his confidence in that regard. I don't think this was an embarrassment issue because I don't, I asked him, let's do a plaque for when you pass, like a big memorial. And he's like, that would embarrass me so much. Please don't. And he's like, don't even bring it up on your channel. Will you give me that promise? And I didn't at the time because he did not want that. He said it would just, there's so much that has gone on. There was positive, negative, etc. So I don't know. That's my long-winded answer because I'm the opposite of the brutal. We get to the truth just differently than Greg.
We'll get there.
Yeah, you just do it differently than I do.
It will
I
come
just-
out in
Greg,
the
what's
end.
your
I just
yes or no answer? What's your yes or no?
I just catch you. If you stick your foot in your mouth, I'm going to call you out. That's all there is to it. But at the end of the day, it's fun. And also at the end of the day, a lot of people are upset because of how it ended.
Yeah.
I mean, plain and simple. You're going to have some people that, no matter what you tell them, with their solves and everything, they will not change their mind to somebody else's solve. It's just will never happen. I have not seen a group of people come together on one solve, like more than 10 people. Never.
Other
Ever.
than the GPS solve, 99% of the community was all in on that solve.
Everyone but Greg, everyone but Greg and the people on his channel, everyone else loved. Everyone loved you.
All right, we got a question from William. Cynthia did a video where Forrest met her at the gate and wouldn't get close and cut it short. Do you know if that was before or after Matt met that weekend?
I will say that is what Cynthia did put out, but she has disclosed elsewhere. So I'm sorry if I am opening a can of worms. She had private meetings with Forrest. She did do that for a video.
Okay. Well, all right.
She had I had a meeting with Forrest in July, and it was face to face. It was with my kids. He said, please don't put it out. He didn't want to feel pressure to meet with masses. He did meet. I know he met with Cynthia. I know he met with me during that time. I'm sure his family would not be particularly happy, but I know the family would. They wanted total lockdown, and Forrest did meet with a few of us.
David Paisano says, I'm disappointed with how it began. Most people are disappointed how it ended. It's pretty funny. Okay. Is there more to that PowerPoint, or was that it?
I don't remember. Bring it up.
All right. Let's see.
I think that was the last one, but I don't.
Alan K says, K-Pro, Cowlazars, Fendi Jones, Treasure Seekers, Brutal Truth, and Adam Foddy. Thanks for being positive. I appreciate you keeping the chase alive without the hate. Well, I can agree with that. So, all right, let's see.
Amen.
Well, like I was saying yesterday, about somebody trying to kidnap, what was it? Denise or somebody?
No, Mika, his granddaughter, Zoe's daughter, daughter.
Yeah, and Carl said something about that, and you know what I mean? Like, I talk a lot of smack on my show, and it's a show, but we also bring up some flags, you know what I mean? When we do talk about the truth too, but you know what? At the end of the day, that really pissed me off. Like when Carl told me that, like, somebody has the balls to literally do that. I mean, to go after the family like that. I might talk smack, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, everybody's realizing it's a show, that I am finally doing what I said I was going to do. Get to the facts.
Greg knows everybody that wrestling's not real. So
yeah. Thank you. See, that's a good point. Thank you.
And just for anybody that doesn't know, I've let him in my house with my wife. So sorry, he's a safe guy. It's okay.
Well, no, but Greg, I was there the day that Paco got out of jail, and they didn't get the tail on him soon enough. And Mika and Zoe came. Wow. All hell broke loose at the house. There has been so many violent things or crazy things like that. When you did talk early on, and we talked about this offline, but I want to say it out loud for the people that have said, I'm unsubscribing to your channel because you're having Greg on. Here's what I say to you. Greg, I don't think had all that context. So when he was talking, he had a lot of bark, but I didn't realize at the time there's no bite. He's just now going to go professionally and talk with you after he's the singer face on and he's retired singer face. And so it was just, but those of us that lived through it and even had some of our own issues, I went, I was the turtle inside the shell. Like, I'm going so far away from Greg and I'll never, and now I'm going, this was just
a show.
Style.
It's a different style. It's a different style. And I always say it's a show because everybody was drinking. It's a drunk fest. Everybody's smoking. Everybody's doing their thing because that's when COVID hit real bad. So that was everybody was partying, having a good time. But, and then, the whole thing with K-Pro runs her show the way she runs it. And she runs it with an iron fist. You say something, she kicks you out. And then everybody started coming to me. So everybody started coming to me. And now I had to, help out. So it was just, I took the ball and I ran with it. And that's the whole thing.
Yeah, go ahead, Fendi.
I was going to say, but look at us now.
Yeah.
You know what? The way we're going to solve this is share the information. That's how it's going to, that's the answer. And that's what we're doing. Greg's come on your show tonight, Christy, and showing these pictures and telling us all what he's found out. And Cynthia's coming out with all her information about what she's been told, and so are you, Christy. And that's how we're going to solve it. All come together, combine our resources, and then I think that would eventually give us the answer.
Right. Trickle it all, keep it all together.
I did not put anything in Greg's drink. This is Greg. This is still just Greg. That's what they're saying in the chat.
It's just me. It's just me. You know what I mean? Well, I will still always be the brutal truth. I'll still have our shit show sometimes. I say that out loud. I was thinking it.
Yes, that's okay.
I still, you know what I mean? I still love the show and I still love the people too, but at the end of the day, now I've kicked it into high gear where it's time to really just go after the truth, really, instead of he said, she said. I'm done with that. I'm just done.
Yeah. And I think everybody has their different levels of different things. Well, Mike is so into some of the other hunts and I'm just not as much. I'm still really on Forrest. we went totally away from Forrest Fenn for like 2 weeks, and I'm like, honey, I need Mondays. Can I just have Mondays? And we're even, and he was on a hunt for history Zoom, and now he's on this.
I've tried to walk away and I can't. I'm always drawn back. Oh, what's the latest? What's happened now? Can't keep away from it. I'm addicted. Definitely.
Right. Well, and just because you say the Iron Fist, I don't see it that way. But I will say I had several people reach out to me this week. And so I do want to say this. I think there was a time, especially with the written word. If you guys don't know, there's a forum called Hint of Riches. And it is, I don't post there a lot. I do get a lot of grief there. And there might have been a time that maybe there was some miscommunications and someone was banned. And I would
Hundreds
like
of
to
people
personally,
were banned.
I know hundreds of people, but there's one on our panel tonight that I had several people say to me, can you please reach out? Because especially now that he has this new channel, I have so many questions for him. And I said, well, we welcome everyone back. And they said, can you do a personal? I usually don't do this, but I will say, I would like to personally invite you, Fendi, if you would like to come back, because we got through all of it. It's a new day, and there is some people that really want to talk about your content that is rocking the house. So I said we were going to loop back. I wanted to say that.
You don't know how much that means to me, K-Pro. I'm telling you what, right now, that I appreciate that you just did that. Like you don't even understand. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I really feel you. And it was never. But you know, I was kind of like Greg before you met Greg. If you think about it, I was Greg in writing to you guys, and I know that. And to be totally fair, you know, maybe when I felt like you know, maybe when I felt like I wasn't really getting heard, maybe I was a little more harder than I should have been. So I do apologize for that. But I mean, I never really took it to the crazy end of the deal either. You know that.
You didn't get the stinger out.
Yeah, I didn't do that. But you
like
know what?
Mike said, it's fake.
Yeah.
Wrestling's fake, Mike.
I didn't say that.
And I'll tell you what, I enjoyed, you know, your the Hint of Riches for so long. I'm telling you what, there's a lot of great people who go and subscribe to what you guys there. And if I'm being honest, while I have been banned, I have been there a lot because there is a lot of great information. That's no joke. And I'd always said to myself, I am never going to go ask to come back unless I'm asked to come back. I'm not going to go ask, but if I'm asked, I will. So I definitely will. And I do it with open arms, man. Thank you.
I don't even think I've looked up your group since I've been gone.
No. You're talking about Facebook. There's a forum. So here's something funny. The Facebook people, I never had Facebook more than a couple years ago because I just never was on it. And then there's the forum people. And the people usually on the forum didn't have Facebook. They're like two, and then the Reddit people, and they're just, sorry guys, insane. Those moderators.
Yeah, I don't do Reddit. I don't do Reddit.
But the forums, Dale's is shut down. Jenny's doesn't talk about, so it's hopping. It's probably a good 100 posts a day. Yes, banned. There he is.
So I will point out.
That's funny.
And now I did warn you. I just didn't do Iron Fist. I did warn you several times.
Yeah, you did. And I kept pushing the envelope. I didn't listen. I didn't try to meet in the middle. You know, I'll meet you there 50% of the way. I will definitely do that. Yeah.
And I know there's a few others, and Susie Fenhaven is in here. And I want to say sometimes, and we've done this many a times, hit the restart button sometimes is the greatest thing to do. It's funny because Mike, after each show, I get like 40, 50 emails. He's like, I got one and it was about a solve. Like somehow
it was to play the coronavirus clip, which I did. So thank you to the person who emailed me. I got it.
No, but it's funny because some people are immune. Some people are immune to everything. And some people, I will say, there is no, even though I think I'm right, I know I'm partially wrong. And there's just sometimes that it's just not that serious. I have a big anniversary of my mom passing coming up. And I just thought, that's what's serious. And Fendi, when you were talking the other night and you got a little emotional about your projects, I just thought, we're all stinking human, and let's just hit the restart button, especially if it gets us to solve, Jack. Do it for the community, Jack, if that's your real name, which we know it's not.
So I'll just point out that Hint of Riches is like the only forum left, I think, where people can actually discuss Forrest Fenn.
Mike?
What?
Oh my
Is that
God.
not true? Oh,
There is another forum, which you didn't even, well, yeah, there is another forum, but they get like one post every 4 or 5
And
days.
I just bought the
Man.
website. I just bought treasureseekersbrutaltruth.com a couple
Uh-oh.
weeks ago. So
What do
I
you
bought
mean?
Yeah, I
that.
heard about that.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I bought that sucker.
All right. So keep
What-
an eye out for
what
that
are-
if you do something with it.
What's your plans for that, Greg?
I don't know yet.
I just wanted to get it before anybody else.
It's yeah. I just wanted to get it before anybody else started talking smack. They're like,
But wait, I
So-
do have to say the biggest breaking news tonight is not coming from me.
So in the
Uh-oh.
spirit, oh yeah, we did have some super chats. Hang on, everybody. Chasing Indy on YouTube. I gotta read it, K-Pro. Chasing Indy with the $4.99 super chat says, K-Pro, you promised me a phone conversation about Greg's secrets. We have a lot to talk about, especially, and I'm assuming that's a script and a camera and a winky face. So that was a super chat to K-Pro.
Okay, I want to clarify. I wanted Indy. Indy has been a very loyal friend. You guys know that. And I consider her a friend, not just a search friend. And there's only a few searchers in the community that I can say that because I went through some stuff that I realized some bad stuff, bad people. Indy is a friend. I wanted her to know some things. I tried to get you before the show because she is somebody that I consider, I know what was coming out today. And so I wanted her to have it beforehand. But the problem, Indy, is you're not good at this, even though I love you. So I didn't get
Indy,
to
you're
your
good at this, the lipstick, but you're not good at the talk part. Yeah, what? Sorry.
But the other thing is you should not have signed. If you sign with one, you can't go with another. I would not have done that. But I try. This is the cool part. Indy, if you say something, I try to ignore. Indy will blow your her channel up and the world up and Facebook up and all that stuff. We have totally different ways about going about things. It's kind of like Greg with his channel, but I gotta love her. She has the kindest heart, but she's gonna say it like it is. So thank you for the super chat. But that's what I'm not gonna tell anybody secrets. But I did want you to know some stuff that was happening tonight because I know that you've brought Indy. I remember when Indy went on Greg's channel very first time. And I was like, what the heck? And we had a moment and she made me see, oh my God, she came on and it like brought World War III down to just a small nuclear war.
We also got a super chat from Mr. Indiana Jones, the second super chat tonight. Indiana Jones says, there are 9 clues in the poem. Reminds me of a woman's gestation interval. Hashtag gestation interval. Like Forrest is speaking about a child for some reason. I know a lot of people thought the poem had to do with sex or had to do with childbirth or had to do with some crazy things like that. So thank you for the super chat. And everybody's entitled to their opinion. I'm looking at Decal as far as the sex thing. Where'd Decal go? Hashtag where
Mike, it's secrets. That's nice.
secret.
I secret if his wife watched this.
That's
Don't
not
do that.
Okay,
Huh?
so in the spirit of sharing emails and sharing information tonight, this is the last breaking news, but you have to decide for yourself if it's breaking news or not. I'm going to share something a searcher sent me, which is an email from Forrest. But first, I need to take a 2-minute break, so I'll be right back. I got to compose myself in order to read.
Oh, keep
But
us
I'll
waiting.
share it. You guys make of it what you will. I'll be right back.
You know, Capro, and I have to say one thing, all the channels coming together is a good thing, but some people will always live in the past, no matter what our channel said. And I'll tell you one thing, I don't apologize for anything I said in the past, certain things. You know what I
You
mean?
should. You should.
You know,
You
wait,
should.
well, hold on. I'm not done yet. I'm not
You might
done
not
yet.
remember them, but
No,
okay, go ahead.
No, I apologize for certain things I might have said, but it's still a show. And I've always made that crystal clear that it's been a show from the beginning. I've never said, you know what I mean? Just because you want to take my words for face value without meeting me and knowing me personally and just going off of what my YouTube channel is, that's just how I feel. Most people know when they meet me, they're like, you are nothing like your show. And ask Fendi, what do you think, Fendi?
I'd agree 100%, dude. I learned so much about you in the time that we spent together, man. And just, it's yeah, I knew you were a great dude before, and I knew that you were just really misunderstood, to be honest with you.
But wait,
You know-
now, but every person comes with their own set of baggage. And I'm going to call it baggage because I've been through some things in my life. Once you went to even though you were just saying it, once you went into saying some of the things, and I've had my own experiences, I go to a place of absolute shutdown because of my past experiences, right or wrong. So as much as I need to learn, some people are just talking, they're not going to do those things. I've had them done to me in life. And I've said I'll never go back, and I never will go in the dark place where I went before. And I hope you would appreciate as much. Your words are so impactful when you use certain words or terminology that when you say, I'm going to punch you in the face, I don't think now you actually meant that. I've had experiences like that I
Right,
go,
I see what you're
I
saying.
can't.
I see what you're saying coming into it, and
Right.
doing
And
this channel
everybody
for you.
brings their own baggage
Right.
that it's going to be okay with some and not okay with some.
Right.
That and I'm the first to say I'm a work in progress, and I'm not going to apologize for that triggering me, but I am going to say maybe, the one night I think I was on your channel, Fendi, or it might have been Indies, when I was like, and Fendi, now you're associated because you are. And he was like, oh, hell no. And I even associated him because he thought it was okay because he didn't know what I had been through and why I was sure. But then we were like, hey, we both know we're good people. Let's just stop. And then we all we sung Kumbaya that one day. We all sang, we all hugged virtually. Anyway. Okay.
Yeah, but but you also got to look in this perspective, and you have the PG-13 people, okay? I have the rated R people, and that's quite frankly how it is.
No, but let me give you a difference. There are.
I got the mature, you know what I mean? Like, like the people, TVMA or whatever they call it, and you got the PG-13, to where I get these people that are just so like different personalities, have disorders, have disabilities, people that are really, you know what I mean?
No, but here's what I think. I think 10% want your crazy show. They want our more serious show, and 80% want the middle of none of it. We want the content. Correct. And so it's the cool part is there might be 10 on each end, but now that there's content, we can come together on content. Except I call it the biker bar, the country bar, whatever you want to call it, tea at high noon, whatever you want. You can call me tea at high noon and you're the biker bar. That's fine. But none of them should go to a place that's not okay.
Well, that's why it's about content now. Right.
Yes.
Now we're talking about content. Okay. The past is the past. Let it go. You know what I mean? I'm still going to do my show, on certain times, have fun. Okay. But we got to have some content and be professional about what's going on.
Everyone here is here for the content. No one cares about arguments and fallouts. People just want content, and we're giving it them tonight. So this is a good show.
Right, but I will say the one thing, and Greg and I have agreed to this, and I want to state it out loud because it might not have been the case. Nothing personal, no person's work, no person's kids, no person's family will be discussed by either of our channels. And that commitment is good enough for me. I don't mind as much if you're on your channel cursing, but kids, family stuff.
I've always said that though, no matter even with all the cursing.
And you're going to enforce it on some of the people on your channel.
Well, you have to enforce it everywhere.
Yes. Yeah.
Everybody does.
Okay.
The community does.
I want to see Mike's email.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's just it. I'm not going to show the email, but I'm going to read it. So, in the spirit of sharing things, since people in the community are now sharing things, and no, Nomadic Madman, nothing from the source, not recently. He said just kidding, but actually I haven't talked to the source. This is not the source, this is somebody else. So there's a searcher that I know. Me and him have gone back and forth. We actually had a bet on like when the treasure chest would be found, where it would be found, things like that. Well, after the treasure chest was found, and this is a person who used to email, much like K-Pro, he would go back and forth with Forrest Fenn through email a lot. They kind of talk to each other a lot. Now, again, this is him communicating this to me. I've not asked him, well, show me the email, but I don't think this person would lie. You guys make your own decision. But what he said, he told me, and I'm going to read it to make sure I don't get it right, is that after the treasure chest was found and it was not in the area where he thought it was, he basically emailed Forrest and he says, he told Forrest, I would never ask for the solution, but I wanted to know if the finder was from a certain state. And this was before people knew who Jack was. He was still anonymous, but this was after they said it was in Wyoming. He wanted to know if the finder was from a certain state. And Forrest responded, no, he is not from that state. Okay. And then he explained to Forrest the bet that me and him had about where the treasure chest was found. And he says, this is what Forrest's response was. The solve will come out eventually, but that will have to run its course. No one should pay any bets, meaning he shouldn't pay me the bet about where the treasure chest wasn't found, where this person thought it was. The solve will come out eventually, but that will have to run its course. No one should pay any bets. Nothing is as it seems. So to me, that's very interesting that Forrest told this searcher, according to this searcher, that nothing is as it seems and that the true solution will come out eventually. You guys
Okay,
make of it what you will. Yeah, go
I
ahead.
would like to put a little bit more into it that I think really brings huge context. Was your bet, are you willing to say whether your bet is in which state?
Yes, the bet was about which state the treasure chest
So
was found in.
he said a different state, you said Wyoming, or he said not.
Yeah,
so-
one of the states. Yeah.
So if that information's out and Forrest is saying, basically, is it, I'm gonna pay Mike's bet because it's in Wyoming, and his answer is nothing is what it seems. Don't pay that bet.
That's what this person told me, Forrest.
Well,
Emailed them. So
So, just to be clear, the email that you received, that your friend received from Forrest, was after Wyoming was announced to be the state.
that's correct. That's correct.
And
So
Forrest is saying don't pay any bets until it's all come out.
that's
Because nothing. Okay, so let me
Nothing
say
Because
it
nothing's what it
differently.
seems.
That's what he
Let
said.
me do it
What does
a
that-
30
What does
second.
that mean? What does that
It
mean?
is. I don't know what it means, but it is. Breaking news. If you believe this person, and I do, the person has.
That's a whopper. That is a whopper.
Now here's how I took it. Tell me if this is wrong. So this guy, Mr. X, and Mike have had a bet. And this guy said it's in
Source number 2.
it's in a state other than Wyoming. It came out it's in Wyoming. This guy emailed Forrest and said, Mike, I'm gonna have to pay my bet. It was in Wyoming. And it wasn't where I thought it was. He was in a different state. And Forrest's response was, do not pay that bet. Nothing is what it seems.
Well, hang on. Let me just to clarify. Let me say the exact words, which was.
But Forrest had said
Is
it
what
was found
Forrest-
in Wyoming.
What Forrest says is no one should pay any bets. Not don't pay Mike specifically, but no one should pay any bets. Now, what does that mean?
But your bet was based on the state,
It
and he
was.
said Wyoming. I believe Greg.
I'm
then
just giving you
It's
the
not in
specific
Wyoming.
words that this.
It's not in Wyoming.
But
Well,
it's interesting.
I-
It says nothing is as it seems. So
I guess the first question, Mike, is how reliable is your friend? But it's not the
that's a
source,
valid
is it?
point. I'm not going to say who it is, so don't email me and try and say who is it. Do we know who it is? Is it a boy? Is it a girl? Is it so and so? Have they ever been to Forrest House? Don't go into that stuff. But this person, I don't think has any reason to lie. So
Okay, can we
No.
give a little bit more?
no. Well, like
You,
what? But
you might lie to avoid paying the bet.
the person did pay the bet though. The person
They did pay the bet.
they
Okay.
did. Yeah.
No, they.
Oh, that's a different bet. You're
Yeah,
talking
I was
about
gonna
something
say no,
else.
they didn't.
Yeah. All right. If you look at it that way.
Yeah,
anyway,
look at it that way.
Hashtag pay up.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
would
Must
say
Listen
it
Good
is.
says, you sure he's not telling you that because he doesn't want to pay the bet? Yeah, I got it. And maybe, but no, he because the searcher is like, I reread that email 100 times. Like, what did Forrest mean? And I don't think he pressed Forrest. I don't think well, what do you mean? What does that mean? He just was like,
I think
what
it's a
does that mean?
person that I know. I have had conversations with Forrest about this particular person. I know it's somebody that Forrest knew and liked well. I didn't know they were as close as. I don't think they were as public about being as close, but they are somebody that knew Forrest really well and conversed with Forrest on a regular basis. You know what though? I got duped by your last source. I'm not doing this, mister.
She learned a lesson.
You're trapping. You're
I
trapping.
like it.
Fendi was trapping. I was waiting for
Gary Stone says,
Stupid
I win.
sources.
I had the breaking news of the night. I win. So to recap, everybody, Greg went to Santa Fe, found the office where Jack and Forrest had the picture taken, which is awesome. Brought back your own pictures, which we showed. So thank you,
Yeah.
Greg, for coming on. We appreciate
You're
it.
welcome.
Showing those pictures. Also, K-Pro released some of her emails, breaking news number 2 between her and Forrest, where Forrest misremembered Matt being at his house the day it was found. Quotation fingers. Again, you gotta, these are rabbit holes. These are bridges that once you go over it to see what's on the other side, there's no going back. Yeah, Forrest misremembered. And even when he admitted, oh, that's right, I have met him, or that's right, he was going with Cynthia, he still didn't admit that Matt was at his house. But we know for sure that's the case, right, K-Pro?
We know that for sure. I know Matt well, and that Matt didn't have any reason to lie. I confirmed Matt made it to Cynthia's house, and man, I think they crashed together. And the store, I have enough confirmation elsewhere, and I don't know if Forrest and I ever talked about that again. I think that was the last email I could find, but during our meeting, maybe we did, but it was a given. And Matt met with him right before the finale to pick up all the finale stuff. So Matt had met with him many times since then. So yeah.
And I
Now,
just want to be, go ahead, Greg.
Oh, sorry, Michael.
Go ahead.
Do you know why the chest is in Santa Fe?
Wow.
I don't know for sure. I have guesses only. Why? Do you know why, Greg?
Yeah.
Are you going to say it?
Yeah, I could say it.
Okay.
Ready on the button, go.
Go ahead.
Why Greg says the chest is in Santa Fe.
Carl made the comment about why the chest is there due to the fact that Hyde where Jack Stoof lives.
Oh, right. And that makes sense. You said that on your channel yesterday.
Yeah.
To hide where Jack lived. Like if he brought it back with
yeah. And that makes sense. Yeah.
And then you have other states that could be governing, except if it stayed in Santa Fe. And since he was selling it, he knew he was going to sell it. Why did he need it? I would have. I'm sorry.
So, and I just want to be perfectly clear and honest with everybody. K-Pro confirmed through her emails that Forrest misremembered, quotation fingers, about Matt being at the house. Greg confirmed through his pictures that he went to Santa Fe and found the office. My breaking news is not confirmed. I do not have it confirmed from an independent source. I have not seen the emails myself, because we all know that people can Photoshop anything. Oh, so mine is not confirmed, but in my opinion, I believe the person who told it to me. What could Forrest have meant? I don't know. Don't.
Well, I had this
Nothing
debate
is
with
as it
Cynthia a couple Monday margaritas ago, and she was like, "You need to show the actual emails." And I'm like, "I can doctor an email as much as I could type it up." She's like, "But maybe it has you could just get more." She's like, it is amazing how much perception changes when you actually show the email. Even if you type it exactly, just show the email. And I'm like, really? I don't think so. And then I talked to a couple of my searcher friends, and they're like, oh, it's totally different. If you actually put the email with like Meeps was like, what about the little avatar? There's things that maybe, yeah. So, and I would never show it without someone's permission that is living, because I have email exchanges about that with other people. Like, that's why I know that Matt was actually there. I don't have their permission. If that's not enough for you, I don't know what's going to be, but there you have it. And there it is.
And yeah, I think they don't think there's more breaking news we can possibly have. Anybody got anything else?
Oh, you know what Milan just said? That is why Forrest nudged me to New Mexico. He was maybe Cynthia, and she needed to go up north, but it was actually in New Mexico. He was giving me the hint, not others. I don't know if that's breaking news. There was no way to confirm what.
Do you want to put that rumor out there?
No, no.
Do you want to start that?
We're on the other side of the bridge, everybody. You're on the other side. I don't know what it means. I do think it's interesting. And just so everybody knows, I did get the okay of my searcher friend to share that with everybody. So everybody's got to make their own decision on this stuff. I know a lot of people just aren't happy with Wyoming. Did Forrest pull it? Did he have it retrieved because of the blow up at his house? We're never going to know. And that's the problem. Is Jack the true finder? We're never going to know. That's the problem. Jack has it in his possession. I definitely believe that. But did he actually find it following the 9 clues? We're not going to know.
I think we'll know.
I
think we will eventually.
Eventually, with everybody in the content,
it will come out.
Yeah, and eventually, my research, and everybody coming together, and all the content. I think eventually we'll get to the bottom of all this. I really do.
Now, Greg, do you want to talk about your GoFundMe, or not tonight yet?
Well, I'm going to do a GoFundMe. I haven't really decided if I'm going to pull the trigger now. You know what I mean? If I really want to do it or not, but I'm going to start investigating. I mean, like I was saying on the show the other day, people were already, saying, hey, I'll give you a couple $1,000. Would you investigate this for me? And they're not even like, it's some investigations, not even like finding out who Jack Stoof is. I mean, I don't like digging that far, but I want to go it's more about the book. Who, who is helping Forrest write the book? Who did the pictures? It's content like that leading to everything else. I just don't want to go right straight directly for the throat on this. I want to just build the foundation. And like I said, one guy said he wanted me to go to Wyoming and investigate the Rangers and talk to them. Another guy wanted me to investigate the guy from the fire department. He wanted me to talk to them because what happened with Forrest and everything, just to interview them and talk to them and get their opinion on what happened that night. These are just simple things people are throwing up in the air that want to pay to do it because they can't do it. They can't get out of their house and they're too busy in life.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
And I will say one thing that when I just said we'll never know, actually, Forrest contradicted that, didn't he? In our interview, when you asked, you're the one who tells us if it's found, what are you going to do when you're gone? And he says there's some problems about treasure hunts. And then he says, no, that's not true. There's a way, but I'm not going to tell you. And in this email to this searcher, he says that the solution will come out eventually. That's what Forrest told this person. This is after Jack said he's not going to release it. Forrest says it will come out when it runs its course. Nothing is as it seems. So I got to trust Forrest that there is a way this is going to come out eventually. So when I said we'll never know, you're right. I was wrong.
I want to do something fun.
We just don't know how long it's going to take.
I want to do something fun. So some people are weighing in on who's breaking news. So we had huge breaking news of The Office being confirmed. Now that's been out a couple days, but that's huge breaking news. I had the breaking news of the big blow up on June 6th and all of that around that. And then Mike had this random little email from no one we know. We didn't even get to see the email. So it doesn't totally matter. People are really liking Mike's. So put in the chat, Greg, K-Pro, or Cowlazars. Whose was the biggest break? We had 3 shows in one tonight. What was the biggest breaking news of the night?
Got the button. I win. I got the button.
Cowlazars. Adam.
Definitely Mike's.
Definitely Mike's. Mike's out, look at him. If he walks across here, he's going to fall off. Look.
I know. The bridge is getting burned down tonight. I don't know what's going on. We're all going to be stuck on the other side. But I will say this, and I don't know if you've reached out to him, but what if we ask Matt to come on and explain that day? Explain what happened. How bad was it?
I would like to. I would like to hear from Matt as regards how Forrest was, having known the chase was over. I would like to know his mood. Was he in a good mood? Not good. That'd be interesting to ask him that, wouldn't it?
Did Forrest say anything to him about it? There's a guy on the way with the treasure chest from Yellowstone today.
Apparently not.
Oh, I know that for a fact.
Not.
Yeah, he did.
I have to tell you, and this is in a respectful way. Cynthia and I took one bed. Matt took the other. We shared a hotel room. There may have been drinks involved. We tried to get everything out of Matt and nothing. Meaning he was shocked because he did not have that information. He did not. And it was like, what? Okay, let's see where we're at here.
Cowlazars were pretty good, Greg. She's got 1 vote.
There's a lot of Cowlazars in there, isn't there?
Cowlazars by far.
I'm on her channel. What do you expect? She come on my channel, she ain't gonna win. I mean,
I was gonna say I'm not even winning. I would have voted for Greg. So Cowlazars.
It's your channel. Of course you're gonna win.
Yeah.
I mean, that was an easy question.
He brought pictures. Hey, Mike, pictures or it didn't happen. Pictures or it didn't happen.
I think Greg had the best. He found the office.
Yeah, Greg did a great job.
So you know what? So what's the next thing we want to ask the community? Would they agree me going down investigating more? What would be the next investigation you would want, Mike?
Greg, did you say you talked to the guy who did the illustrations in the book? Is that what you said?
Yes, I talked to him for a good hour on the phone.
That would be interesting just to know, did Forrest have input on those illustrations? I'm sure Forrest told him specific, in general, I want this or that, but did Forrest say add a JF? Was there specifics because everybody thinks there's hints?
Well, that's why I want to get everybody's list together for next time when I go down and talk to him too. You know what I mean? So that's why, it'd be, Forrest did have a big part of it.
Especially if you could record it. If you could do a video interview with him, that would be huge. Or audio, whatever it is.
Right. But he did say Forrest had a big part of it. Forrest is the one that did it. And he also, and because I did bring up the suggestion, I said, well, did he ever give you any hints of, did the pictures give people hints in the book? And he said, well, if I had that, I would have a leg up on all you searchers. Those were his exact
Oh,
words.
right. Do you know if he searched for it? Was he a searcher?
I never asked him that question.
okay.
So yeah.
Interesting. Well, everybody, if you liked any of the breaking news tonight, make sure you thumbs the video up. We go live every Monday night. You guys, thank you for coming on. Not that we're ending it. We could go another 6 hours.
Don't
But,
forget to subscribe either.
Yeah, thumbs up. Every Monday night, we're going to have people on Forrest Fenn panels. If you're interested in coming on and maybe sharing your email conversation that you had with Forrest, kpro3@aol.com or cowlazars@gmail.com. And yeah, the thrill of the chase is over, at least in that the chest was found, but the community lives on, and the community is going to get them answers. Greg is on the case. I'm going to call Greg Encyclopedia Brown from now on. He's going to get some answers.
Well, they call me Robin Hood now. They say I'm the Robin Hood now. I'm the Robin Hood.
Greg's not going to stop, is he, till he's got the answers?
No, I'm not going to stop. And I want people to understand though too. I'm not placing it in I could care less about my location. You know what I mean? And I've said this many times. My location is my location. I'll sit here and talk about my location all day if you want to hear it. I could care less. You know what I mean? But the whole thing is, at the end of the day, the people that email me every single day, all day long, and my channel and stuff like that, they want answers. And they love how I'm going down there to find out the truth. And they love how I just jump in my car and go, and I'm gone.
Oh. Redneck Express says Forrest didn't end the chase when searchers died or psychos stalked him and his family, but Matt takes his mask off while over for a visit, and that's it. I'm going to end it. It depends on what happened. In my opinion, it depends what happened that night, that day when Matt was there. So Matt, you have an open invitation. How bad was it? I mean, that really is what it boils down to. How bad was it? How bad was the blow up? That may sway people's opinions on why would he end it because of that.
I can't see Forrest ending it over that. But I know I'm going to be lying in bed tonight wondering why he lied to Christy about that, because there would have been a reason.
It doesn't make sense, right? Unless he was maybe not embarrassed. I mean, if he wants, it's Forrest Fenn. If he wants to have a searcher over, he can have a searcher over. Why would he? Yeah, why would he say, "Oh, I misremembered"? We did get a super chat. Bruce Kaiser, thank you for that $5 super chat. He says, Wonder Hussy, if you guys remember that YouTube channel, I do. She was actually on AGK's program. Wonder Hussy YouTube channel spent 3 hours with Forrest a few years ago. He spent the entire 3 hours telling them about Yellowstone. So there's a lot of votes that it was found in Yellowstone. I know that to be true.
Team Yellowstone.
Team Yellowstone, yeah.
Me too.
Team GPS. Team, how will it come out? If Jack's not going to release it, and Forrest says there's a way, how could it come out on its own?
Watch the Bear and Fendi Look for Stuff show on YouTube, and we will figure it out.
There it is. The community.
And Fendi, I tried to get the Once Upon a While comparison. It has already been sold. It is now with someone else. So speaking of that, I will say I've had a ton of people ask about the collection. There's some pretty rare books in there. I'm not a book collector, and Mike has allowed me to put a video together with that collection, because a few of you have probably written me every single week for the last 6 months. I am going to be selling some of the collection. So I'm going to put a video of the entire collection together. I'm not going to go through eBay or whatever. No, I would just say we're going to do a Cowlazars and K-Pros, comics, coins, cards, and collectibles, Forrest Fenn edition. So we will show the collection in its entirety, I believe. And just if anybody is interested in purchasing it, email us. So it's not going to go on eBay. We're not going to do that. It's just if anybody out there is interested, you can let us know. But it is some really cool items from when Forrest was a kid in West Yellowstone. The Forrest, every catalog from his gallery. I mean, there's some cool stuff. Every single catalog when he owned the gallery, every single one of them. And they have etchings and Mabel, the Mabel book, the Bip book. I mean, there was a ton of stuff, because that particular searcher, that's what she thought. That's how you solved it. It's through and there's a ton of $17 a square inch.
When are we making a coffee book? Coffee table book.
A coffee table book of searcher stories.
All the poems and everything.
Yeah.
Oh,
and
there's so
everything
much
and
that
all
can be
their
done.
searches, everything.
Christy
there's-
Meep says, I want BIP. The BIP book is in there. And who's to
It
say
is.
that searcher was wrong? That going through this stuff is not how you
Yep.
figure out.
Yep.
If Jack says Forrest Fenn slipped up in some interviews, could he have not have slipped up the same information in these books, et cetera? That I don't know.
It is funny if you go through, I think it's $17 a square inch or 80. I don't remember which one. The details that he has in there are actually incorrect if you look at some of them in Forrest books. So anyway, I just throw that out because we were supposed to make it over this weekend and those searchers have already emailed me. And I'm like, let's see, Jerry said, wait, etching. There's an etching in one of them. I know that. I need to figure it all out. But yeah, I know a lot of you guys are interested. So we'll put that all together and get that out because I think it's time. I don't need to collect this much. I have probably 20 to somebody said TTOTC, is it still for sale? I wanted one. I have like 15 of them. I have every single version. I have transparency film of several of them because I did. Oh, I should probably get that to Fendi because you guys are the ones rocking it through analysis. So.
Yeah, we Bear, he's the research person, man. I just show up and run my mouth.
If you guys remember, so some of you might not remember who Bear was. Bear was on our show, gosh, a year or two ago. He was the one that said clip the he said he was the lead. Tear the book up. He was the one that said cut the string.
Cut the string.
It was hashtag cut the string.
There was like 500 viewers in that video.
Yes.
I said the lead searcher will be on, and everybody believed it. Yeah.
Yes, and Greg and I, we had a talk about Titlegate and breaking news and exclamation points and all that. Mike has now taken that over. So if anyone has a complaint, send them to Mike.
Okay, everybody, we're at
Yeah.
2 hours over.
Mike will deal with all the complaints that you complain about me about. I send them all to Mike. Good luck.
They want an apology from Greg. I don't know.
No, you ain't gonna get that.
Right. Baby steps, guys. Baby steps.
steps.
Get there.
Yes, baby
Did you
steps.
ever think this would happen? Come on.
Nah,
we're
look
getting
at
there.
this, man. This is a great picture just as a screenshot right here.
Yeah, it really is.
We've
It really
gotten
is.
we've gotten this far, and we're getting great content to get out to everybody and everything, and baby steps.
Long may it continue.
Why do I ought to have to owe all the apologies? Because I know a lot of people owe me a lot of apologies for backstabbing and doing everything. No, I'm not talking about us here. I'm just talking, people on other channels.
And I won't even talk about those. I will just talk about me right now. I know I had to be a part of, there had to be a moment, no matter how right I think I am, I was wrong in some cases. I know I was wrong. I know I was mean and I know I said stuff out of emotion. And I really point to Fendi that one night because sometimes you wake up and instantly know, damn, I messed up last night.
That's why I don't watch my videos again.
Oh, I don't either. No, I didn't even have to. I didn't have to. I did not have to. I don't either because of the same thing.
Yeah, I don't watch them. After they're done, I'm done. I don't even want to know.
Well, the good thing is Finn brought good people together right here. And, we always have speed bumps out there. And the days that we can't get past days like that are the days we really have trouble, y'all. So, I mean, this is really a great thing, to be honest with you. I mean, we all have good ideas of our own, and the right answer's in here between us. So
Baby
Definitely.
steps. Baby steps, like Capro says.
Yeah, and I'm inviting Jack. You come join the conversation because all of those conspiracies and misnomers and stuff, if you just jumped onto the panel, poof, they disappear, my friend. Come on in, the water's warm.
I've not ruled out seeing Jack on this show in the future. I think one day it may happen.
Let's take a small bet.
come on, Jack.
I'm putting it on record. One day I think Jack might be on the panel.
After he sells it, come on and talk about it. Come on and talk about it. I will
Oh
point
yeah,
out that
after he
we're
sells it.
less than 3 months away from the 1-year anniversary. June 6th is fast approaching. It happens to be on a
Countdown's
Sunday.
on.
And I think we need to do a Forrest Fenn panel on Sunday, June 6th, and just talk about the year. And who knows what news might come out on the 1-year anniversary of when it's been found.
Dan Barbarisi's book is going to be out, I think, June 1st or 2nd.
And we could do a review on that and talk
Oh.
about, that would be pretty good, wouldn't it? So
He
That's
got
prime time.
hours and hours. with
I
Jack.
am looking forward to that book. I really am.
That's prime time for actually Jack to do interviews when that book comes out to help his buddy Dan for
I don't think he
doing
will.
the
Good
interview
point.
for him.
Good point, Fendi. Good point.
Yeah, but Jack actually sent Dan out earlier, and so
Yeah.
and there were some issues with that. But pre-books are already out there, and Tony, if you guys saw his tweet, it's going to be good. But Dan is saying his target audience is not searchers. And I'm like, yeah, but every single searcher is going to buy it. Or at least we are two of them, I guess.
You think you're gonna be disappointed?
Nope. I've talked to Dan. Nope.
You're not gonna be disappointed in the book?
Nope.
Uh-oh.
There'll be nothing groundbreaking on there. You know,
And
there'll
he
be no
said that.
location, but
He
there'll be
said
loads. There'll be loads of nuggets to keep us busy for weeks and
That.
weeks and weeks.
Yep. And I think with the amount of emails that are out by Jack, I think there will be wording nuances and we're going to say, oh, he misremembered or he's a liar or whatever. And then we're going to find out later, no, this little nuance between non-disclosure and confidentiality, all of that. He got so much detail of hours and hours of interviews. I think so many more things will make sense too. I don't think it will be, here's the location, because Dan already told me it's not happening. I just think we're going to get more than what we have now, which are random emails to various searchers that are sitting on forums and blogs. This will be verified from a author, and that's someone that got hours of conversation. I've already heard about some of it. It's good. It's okay. I'll give you guys one just because I thought it was awesome. He was talking to Jack well before Jack, his identity came out. And I guess he was talking to him on the phone like the day before this was going to come out. And he's like, Jack was like, so do you want to know my name now? It's coming out tomorrow.
So Forrest didn't even know his name?
Yeah.
No, not Forrest.
Oh, Dan.
Honey.
Dan.
Dan. Yeah. And it was like, he had been talking to him for so long, he didn't even ask. And so it was just one of those that it was that kind of evolution. If he puts that kind of detail, those of us that have been emotionally vested in the chase will know, okay, that was right around December 5th then, and this was it. He doesn't even, outside, I don't think people will be as enthralled as us that love every little nugget, detail, breadcrumb.
And how does he know this guy?
So Dan is the one that figured out a way to get contact with Jack before, through Medium. If you flag something as an error, it, even if they don't take the email, it actually flags it to the author. And Dan did that. He knew the nuance behind how to use Medium. So he did a correct your editorial. You have a misinformation, and basically said, will you contact me? I've been doing this book for years. And I believe Jack did some verification. I don't know that, to know that Dan he's been interviewing searchers for at least 3, 4, 5 years. And then he was like, well, then why don't you tell the story? I'm going to have this huge book, etc. And Jack said yes, and talked to him for hours.
I don't know. I'm still skeptical about this whole thing. You know what I mean?
We need that.
Think about this though. I mean, I think this is part of that skeptical right there. So Dan actually flagged part of what Jack wrote, and Jack was a writer.
Yeah, they're all right. They're all writers. We're all dealing with writers.
And I do have to say, they live. Somebody posted on Thor, and I took it down, but they live in the same city and very close to each other.
Yeah,
Here's the conspiracy here. We have conspiracy at every turn, and that's just human nature. Yeah.
But somebody's going to break it eventually.
Yep, I think so.
I think teamwork is going to break it. I think teamwork. It's not going to be one person. I think it's going to be a combined of all content, and then finally, oh shit, wait a second. This was said. Wait, Greg had this interview. Fendi had this. You know what I mean? Right. Capro had this. Adam had this. Mike had this. It's going to be something, and then we maybe overlooked. It was so simple. It was right in front of our eyes, and then you're going to find out the truth.
Yep.
Or we're just going to bring him out. He's going to get so scared because somebody's getting close. People are getting close. And he's going to have to come forward.
Or say he is, but
yeah.
Romantic Madman asked, was Dan Barbarosi at the Fenn finale?
I don't think, no, because I'd never met, no. There was a documentarian there, and there was a couple reporters there, but not that I am aware. Indy and Cynthia, I don't know if Cynthia's still here, but Indy, did you, I don't think Dan was there. So, and I did not, I never met with Dan about his book. He'd actually emailed, it was at the time that all heck was breaking loose. He's like, you're still in the book, but I never got an interview with him.
Okay.
Good.
Well, there was somebody earlier that said, why do you think Forrest wanted to see a picture of everybody at the finale? He had already met Jack. Why do you think he wanted to know if Jack was there?
I have those sets of emails. Maybe I can share.
Oh, wait.
What he told, I asked him that question because that's what you do. You go to the source. I'm going to be like Greg. I asked Forrest, why did you have Cynthia and Indy? Everybody thinks it was me. It was not me. Cynthia and Indy take pictures of everyone. He said, I wanted to see if Jack was there. And I said something like, but you only took pictures at the picnic, you know, a bunch of people because of forest fires, Nemo and that crew wasn't able to come, etc. And he's like, there were other events. Do you have pictures? I said, yeah, we went live on Friday. I said, I got everybody. And I said, there was other people there on Saturday night. He's like, can you get me the additional footage? And I sent it to him and I gave him some minute marks and things. I think, was it minute mark? I don't know. I told him I spanned and said, oh, there's that guy over in the corner. He's shy. And, you know, we were joking. But my question was, so are you not on good enough terms with Jack to ask him?
Hmm.
And he
Oh,
never responded.
Or he didn't trust him enough to.
Yeah, he
tell
didn't
the truth.
trust him enough.
That's
heard
how
he
I
just-
took it.
I heard he just wanted to see if Matt had kept his mask on or not.
Shame on you. Shame on you.
Matt, come on the show. Tell us what you know. Tell us what
Yeah,
happened on that
I
fateful
want to hear more from this Matt guy.
6th. Or make a video of your own and talk about it. But it would be interesting to know what exactly went down.
Yeah, so that's what it doesn't make sense about the finale. There has to be something more about the finale, but this goes to my notion. No offense, Jack. Obviously, Forrest could have just asked you if you guys were on good enough terms about it. Why? Why would he do that? I think it was apparent. I think to Cynthia and I and Indy what he was doing. It wasn't. He kind of couched it under. Have him send a picture, and then he sent a response to each one. But it was obvious what he was doing. He was trying to find out if Jack was there. Why couldn't he have asked him? Did he not believe him? Did he not?
Well,
Because-
obviously they weren't on good enough terms for Jack to believe him. So that's why he asked Candy to send the pictures to confirm it that way.
Because nothing is as
Shocking.
it seems. So there it is, everybody. That's the breaking news. We hope you enjoyed it. I think there'll be a lot more that comes out as searchers share their emails, the back and forth with Forrest. And just maybe we can figure something out here and crack something. A lot of conspiracy theories, a lot of rabbit holes. We all have to make our own decision. But I think the information is good. I think instead of, hey, the treasure was found, go home, it's over. That's not going to happen, obviously. So we've got other YouTube channels, you guys down there with your own information. We're here every Monday night. Come on the Forrest Fenn panel Monday nights and share your emails with Forrest. And we'll see what happens in the future.
Yep. Thank you for having me on the show, everybody. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, K-Pro.
Yeah, thanks for coming
Yeah,
on, Greg.
and-
Yeah,
thanks
man.
for
And if
getting
you
pictures
guys,
from Santa Fe.
if you guys have some thoughts about, I know the chat went quick tonight. Greg and I are chit-chatting and talking about kind of next steps because I have been known to travel. And so I think Yellowstone might be, or Cody might be a good place. And I am heading back to NC, but that's going to be for some of my personal world. But I think going back to Cody, looking at some other things. So we might do some, why both of us go to the same spot. We need to divide and conquer and use all of our resources. So
Correct.
if you have any thoughts, send me an email, kpro3@aol.com. You guys know how to get me. Just get me and tell me what your thoughts are, because I know some of the things. There's a few things I want Greg to check out when he's in Santa Fe, or just see when he's in Santa Fe. And then I might go Yellowstone way. I know some other people are going that way. So anyway, it'll be fun. Just let us know what or put it in the comment section down below.
But
and we
have
can
you
all
thrown
see it.
up that picture that I sent out yesterday or
Which
the
one?
day before? The one with Forrest Fenn's writing? Why nobody has deciphered it yet for me in over a year?
What are
Oh,
you
I haven't
talking
seen
about?
that. We don't know about. Wait
What
a
is
minute.
this?
Wait a minute. I don't know about that one, Greg.
You didn't hear about that? Well,
No.
yeah, that was in the 8-hour video. You
I
didn't
was gonna
see
say,
it.
it was 6.5
So
hours
it was
in.
at the end. No, it was in like how I was telling a year ago how there was a picture, when they're all lined up in front of the helicopter. It's
From the
Forrest Fenn-
thrill of the chase. Okay.
from the
Yeah.
thrill of the chase.
Right.
And you know how it's 2 pages? This is only 1 page. And I kept trying to tell everybody for the past year, that this will give. I don't know if it will or not, but there's got to be something in that picture. It's all his writing, everything.
It's in the book
And-
or in a previous version of the book, or
It's in
like-
it's in a video. Lucky Digger found the video. She found the video.
wait,
and-
Lucky Digger or Lucky Love?
Lucky Digger, I believe.
Yeah.
Okay. Because
Yeah.
I remember you guys mentioning Lucky Love, and I thought I haven't heard that name.
Well, no,
in
Lucky
forever.
Love was because that's what led me to that video.
Oh, okay.
Because
Okay.
how he signed an autograph that said, Lady Luck on your side or something. So I put the two L's together and I started going through channels on YouTube at that time because he was telling you to go somewhere. And it was a YouTube channel. And then in that channel, I don't know, I don't have the link, but Lucky Digger does. I don't have it no more.
Well, Lucky
So-
Digger's in the chat. Lucky, if you want to reach out to Greg or me and K-Pro and send us if you know what Greg's referring to, then maybe we'll talk about it. That could be interesting. And Lucky Digger says, who is this imposter? Greg hasn't said the F word or anything all night.
He's been so good, hasn't he?
That's high five. That's high five,
Yeah.
Greg, right there.
I heard he got paid off in Santa Fe, by the way.
Greg's a reformed character.
Yeah, and
This
I'm
is-
sure there'll be an after party with someone. And if Greg goes on, do us proud.
I'm
Greg.
going to be doing it right away as soon as I go on.
Yes or no? Yes or no?
Yes,
It's a
sir.
yes or no answer.
I've been holding back. I've been sitting here like, I can't say the F word.
He's got it written on his screen in front of him. It says, "Don't say."
Yeah, no swearing.
Right there. There's the video right there, I think.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
hit it okay. So two
Okay.
trips, I think, put the video in. So we'll have to go and check it out. See more breaking news. We have weeks of stuff to come because I know if you guys don't know, I don't know if Greg said this here tonight, there are several more segments of his Santa Fe trip to come out. We have some other things that we're thinking of putting out that we're backlogged at this point. So this is a good thing because now we need to strategize on what's next. So we keep kind of things in the pipeline. So so I hope you guys enjoyed it for the 350 of you that were in here when we topped out. Goodness gracious, we're not alone, Jack. There's not 3 or 4 of us thinking that we still want answers. There's, I mean, my
We're
goodness.
growing.
Time,
We're
Jackie
growing.
boy, it's
Yep.
We are
time.
growing. Yeah. So thank you, Mike. Thank you,
Yeah.
K-Pro. Nice
Yep.
seeing you again, Adam. Nice seeing you, Jones.
Yeah.
Yes,
Been a really
sir.
good night. Thank you, guys.
Thanks,
And thank you
guys.
for the
Appreciate you guys.
chat. Thank
Totally
you for
enjoyed
everybody
it.
in the support of the chat. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So
All right,
Thanks,
everybody.
guys. Have a good
We'll
night.
see you
Thanks, y'all.